Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome once again to Rogues Gallery Live. Like I said, ladies and gentlemen, this is Rogues Gallery Live. This is episode 97. We are 3 away from our big 100 show, which is absolutely crazy. And this is our Rogues Gallery Live show. So our recap San Diego Comic-Con show, which is just absolutely insane that it has come and gone already. I was just talking to Mr. Delaney, who said he has officially recovered. I have not. God bless you. I'm really glad to hear that you have. But it has been a whirlwind week for me for sure. I started out on one coast and have now ended up on a whole another coast in a matter of days, which is just nuts. After, what was it, a 13-hour drive for us yesterday. We crossed over 7 different state lines, which was just nuts. But anyway, how are you guys doing tonight?
Good.
Excellent.
That is fantastic. We have, of course, with us as always, Mr. Dan Default from Wayne Manor North.
Hey, everybody. Good to be here. Can't wait to hear even more scoop on Krista and Jeff's adventures on the West Coast.
Absolutely. We also have Mr. Eric B in the house. I love it. I still love your new camera angle.
Oh, thank you. It's only temporary. Hopefully I'll be back to normal next show. And looking forward to tonight's show. There was so much coverage between San Diego. I'm sure I missed something, so looking forward to the recap tonight.
Thank you. We also have, of course, this guy you saw all weekend long over on the Secret Sanctuary channel. You saw him pop into my videos. I saw it popped into his videos. It was so much fun. And I got to hang out with, a lot more, which was great because we got to hang out in Disneyland, but it was even cooler to be able to hang out much longer with you at the con. But of course, Mr. Jeff Delaney from Secret Sanctuary.
Don't you guys have your badges? You're supposed to have a badge for this panel.
Darn it, I don't have the panel. Darn it. I should have brought mine. I didn't even think about it. That's awesome. But yes. And again, that was a whole new experience too with the badges and everything else. So that's something we could talk about. That was cool.
Sure.
And then, of course, last but not least, we have Mr. Jeff Morris. How's it going, Jeff?
I'm good. Hope everybody's doing well.
Doing great.
Y'all suck for seeing all that stuff.
Yeah.
I tell you, it was, I don't know, just as a newbie person going for the very first time, it was just so overwhelming. Like there was just so much to see. And I think I said in one of my videos, like, I bet I probably saw 5%, of what I could have seen. I think you could easily be there a month and not see everything.
That's insane.
Yeah.
I don't know, how do you sit? I mean, the place looked huge, but how is it divided up?
It's not. It's one giant room for all of the exhibitors and then Hall H. And then there's an addition to the convention center that has more panels. No more exhibitors, but just panels in the new area as well.
And they have like
all
panels.
The booths and retailers are in one area.
One giant room.
So basically
cool.
It's kind of divided like this. Like there was a lot of like, on one end, there was kind of like toys and comic books, that sort of thing. And then you slowly got into kind of like where the Sideshow booth was, had more of some kind of like some of the higher end collectible stuff. And then you kind of went into more what I thought was kind of like.
And then he went away.
And then, then it went away.
Disappeared.
Yeah. It was kind of like the, like it had like the Nickelodeon and some of the Marvel. Like it had like Star Wars costumes. Like it was kind of more of the big companies right there. Mm-hmm. Then it kind of went into more kind of collectible toys. Like it had some like 3D printed stuff. And then it went into like kind of the artist alley area. And also down there was like Funko and Mondo was down on the other end. So that was interesting. And then like upstairs, that's where all of the panels are. Mm-hmm. So, and that was in 2 separate, there was like a big giant section where kind of like Jeff and I hung out there quite a bit where it had like a lot of the comic book panels and stuff. And then it had like this big middle section. I can't remember what is that? The sale?
That's the sales pavilion. It's the roof of the convention center, but there's like a sail over the top, so it's covered.
So it's kind of outdoors. It's kind of like a pass through, really.
Yeah.
That's kind of where people came in and they got their badges and that's actually where we got our extra, like our swag, our bags and the lanyards and stuff.
Yep.
I was really mad because I actually opened up the map or the book, the program when I got back home. Actually, that was the first time I actually opened it up. It had a map of everything, but then it had like an online store, and I couldn't get into it because I really wanted to buy the boys a San Diego Comic-Con lanyard. But and there was, I guess there was one place, and I think maybe it was in like a hotel or somewhere where you could actually buy the merch.
Yeah, they do all that stuff remote.
It's crazy. It's just crazy to me that you couldn't, that wouldn't be sold all throughout the con, like T-shirts and everything, but you could not find any merch there on the floor.
Yeah, once you sign up for a Comic-Con International ID, which you probably didn't do because someone gave you a badge, then you get notified about all that stuff. There's literally a lottery just for the parking.
Gee,
and for 3 years in a row, I've gotten no parking. I've been totally unsuccessful in the lottery. But they also notify you when the merchandise is for sale. They notify you when badges are about to come up. They notify you of everything. So that's really handy. But yeah, it's good on the first night, like on preview night, to get that book, that program, because you can sit down and you can circle what you want to see on all 5 days. And that's always a challenge because there might be 2 or 3 things happening at the same time that you want to see. So you have to make your decisions. And yeah, you get used to it after a while, figuring out how to make it all work.
And Jeff and I, we both made the exact same comment when we were there. It's like, we're kind of the people that like to have a physical copy, to be able to circle stuff and like, kind of have a plan that way. Like I tried, I didn't have that. So I just had the app. And I started a few things, but then trying to go back in the app and remember where you wanted to be where, and I had no idea where that stuff was anyway. So it was just like, I'm like Jeff, I'd rather just have the physical.
Well, if you prefer apps, it's really cool because you can flag the stuff that you want to see. And then once you've done that, you can bring up my schedule and only the stuff that you want to see will come up. Yeah. So you don't have to deal with all the stuff that you don't want to think about or don't want to go to.
So it was helpful, I thought, in a couple of different places, just trying to like mentally keep track. And I, even we were right in the moment and we're talking about it and we're supposed to like, okay, when was that? What time was that panel supposed to be, or what time does it get over? And half the time there were a couple of times where we had 2 panels at the same time that we wanted to go to. There was at 2 separate places.
Yep.
They were both like the same type of topics. So we couldn't believe that they would do the same type of comic book base. Like I think Jock was in one and then Jim Lee was in the other or something like that.
Yeah.
We're like, why would they do that at the same time? But there's just so many panels going on at the exact same time. But there's rooms everywhere. I mean, that's the crazy thing is there's so much. You just can't be everywhere you want to be.
No.
Hey Jeff, how was attendance volume relative to pre-COVID years? Would you say?
I can only go by feel. I didn't look at the numbers, but it felt very close.
Did it really? Yeah. Wow.
Might have been a little bit less, but for the most part, it was very crowded. And I think the exhibitors were pretty happy.
That's good. So Chris got the full SDCC experience. That's awesome.
Yeah.
I feel like I got pretty close. I think it was maybe somebody either at Sideshow or Tweeterhead that I was talking with, and they said that they felt like it was a little less busy, and the only way they could tell that is because you could see the concrete.
Okay. I was actually watching that today. That was from the PCS booth.
Okay. Like I said, usually you can see, or usually you can't see any concrete. It's so, it's that packed.
There's a reason that you normally can't see the concrete.
No, that's right. This is a good story too.
Normally they put down carpet.
Wow.
And on preview night, they were telling all the vendors, clear all the odds. We got to put down the carpet. They never put the carpet down.
Wow.
So we had concrete the whole week.
Concrete. That's why I can't stand up straight right now. My back still hurts for the concrete.
Yeah. And the cool thing about Comic-Con is that there's a long wait list for exhibitors. So if people pull out, those spots get filled. And that did not happen like at WonderCon this year. Several people did pull out because of COVID, and those booths were just empty. And that was kind of disappointing. But in San Diego, that does not happen. They get filled by eager exhibitors, very happy to take that spot.
Yeah, everything was full wall to wall. And I was just amazed because, and I talked to Jeff about this quite a bit too, is like every Comic Con that I've ever been to, they really sell it on what celebrities are going to be there, which booths, you can sign at. And with this Comic-Con, there is not any of that advertisement unless it's individual websites, which I found out later. You know, it's like it's so much more industry driven. It's so much more, you know, just a show instead of it being like an attraction for this person being there and this because everybody that's there is a surprise.
Yeah.
You know, and whether we saw that on Saturday and Sunday with Hall H. You know, a lot of Wakanda Forever and all the Marvel and some of the DC stuff with The Rock coming up there, which looks like The Rock actually went and crashed a few different places too.
Oh, really?
Wow. Which that would have been cool to be there at those places. And again, just stuff was random. You know, you just happened to be at the right place at the right time.
Yeah.
I ran into a wrestler that I know, and actually he was masked up, and I said, "Are you?" Actually, he used to be called Aleister Black. And I said, "Are you Aleister Black?" And he said, "I used to be," because now he's a different name in a different company. But it was cool. He took a picture with me. It's just like because there was just a lot of people. That do you remember that really tall guy we saw?
I think so.
I think you were there. He was a famous basketball player. I can't remember who he was, but he was.
PJ told me about that. I was not there, but PJ told me about it.
Or maybe I was talking. I think maybe I was talking with Jeff May.
Okay.
I can't remember. I was in and out of that booth so many times, as were you. I can't remember when I was where and who was with me at the time. But
yeah, PJ was so tired. You know, PJ was the Queen Studios ambassador at Comic-Con. That on the first night he fell asleep with a chicken wing in his mouth.
That guy, I got to give a shout out to PJ. That guy worked his ass off.
He did.
He had people constantly. Of course, the big draw at that booth was all the life-size busts, and people were, just freaking out, taking pictures with those left and right. But every time I went by, either to stop by or to talk to him, I probably talked to him, 10 different times, and each time he was always talking with somebody, or they were, wanting to place an order or something like that. So, I mean, he was.
Or don't touch the statues, please.
Yeah, I believe that. Although he did let me touch the statue, which was great. I don't know if you saw that or not.
Different, but yeah.
Chris was fixing hair.
I had a couple people message me about that bust, and they had all of the hair tucked back in, and that was the one I was most excited to see. And I was underwhelmed when I saw it. And I don't know if it was the lighting that they had on. It was kind of in a corner. The other bust, I just felt like a little bit better lit. And it took me a day or so to figure out like what was wrong. And I'm like, PJ, his hair is tucked in. And, Loki had that longer hair in that movie where he's got, it. And so I thought that might frame the face a little bit better. And so I went up to him. I said, can we move this hair out? And he kind of looks at me and he goes, yeah, let's do it. And so he took one side and I took the other side, and we're like trying to style it a little bit. But I think it looked better after that. So there's PJ right there. Hey, PJ.
Yeah.
So hopefully you were recovered too, my friend. We were just saying that you were working your butt off at that booth, and we were really impressed for sure.
I hope he wasn't there all night on Sunday, because I'm sure breakdown is really difficult, and you have to wait for the union guys.
Yep.
In the warehouse to bring in your pallets, and then you have to box it all up, and then they have to cart it out. And I bet he was there quite late.
I bet so too. I actually was. I watched one of the Sideshow streams. They were streaming right until the floor closed, and they were up in their tower.
Yeah.
And they immediately had people start tearing down. Like it was the second it went off. Like there were people like they had the glass off, and like they were. You could just tell like they are machines. They want to get out of there.
Yeah. Well, I asked PJ, did they give you tomorrow? And he said, no, we have to be out of here tonight.
You're kidding.
Wow.
Yeah.
Jeez. And did it end at 7:00 on Sunday too?
No, they close at 5 on Sunday.
Okay. So at least they got a few extra hours maybe to work a little bit. PJ says, yeah, thank you guys. The breakdown was tough. We finished around 9 p.m. that night. Wow. Oof. So that's brutal. And that was 5 pieces.
Yeah.
So imagine like a Sideshow booth, how long that would take because it all has to go back in styrofoam.
I imagine a lot of that's just waiting to your booth to be, get your pallets and all that kind of stuff. You have to wait.
Well, that's one of the things they were saying at the Sideshow, the show. They were like, we are not changing the display. It takes way too long to set up, so there will be no changes. And what we have out is what you're going to see.
Yeah.
Yeah, they changed a few portraits, but that was it.
Yeah, I did see which brand was it? There was the owner of one of Pure Arts. I think the owner of Pure Arts came through when I was there on Friday, and they actually turned on some of the lights to a couple of their pieces. So that was kind of neat to see that. But yeah, really it was Tweeterhead that were the ones that switched anything out, and then that one, the Batman piece from Prime 1.
Yeah.
So anyway, what was it like? You know, we were there, but what was it like watching the footage? Like, did you guys feel like, I had a lot of people message me and just post, it's like thanking Jeff and I both for our footage and kind of making it feel like that other people were there with us. Like, did you get that feel also? Did you kind of experience it through us?
I thought the coverage was fantastic. It was about as comprehensive as I can remember for years. It was really good getting different perspectives. I mean, I watched all of your videos, both of you guys, and as well as a few others. And I have to hand it to you both. And I know I'm biased, but I think you did the best job of anybody that I watched. That's for sure.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Just kind of unbiased, nice close-ups, just the facts, ma'am, kind of, coverage. And I thought it was fantastic. You had great guests and, people chiming in, and it's just awesome. Chris, I don't know how you must really not have stopped, because it was just constant.
I didn't. Like, I was just thinking like that Friday, I had not, until I had dinner that night, and it was a Tweeterhead dinner. I had not stopped. I had not drank or eaten anything all day.
Oh.
Because that was the day that you guys went to go. I think you guys stopped and got pizza, and I was going to go, but then that was when they announced that Jim Lee, Paul Dano panel, possibly, right? That Friday.
Right. Yep.
So I don't know. I just kept thinking, like, after on the way back, I'm like, I don't even think other than the panels, that was the only time I sat down
Right.
that day. So I don't know. I feel like I feel like I did go hard, but at the same time, that's all I really knew to do. Like, I didn't know how to slow down, really, because if you slow down, you miss something.
You had to fit 5 days into 3.
Yeah. And that was it. I mean, really, and that wasn't even 3. It was like 2 hours. It was 2 days, and then whatever that Wednesday night was.
Yeah.
So it was. I'm amazed at, like, because most of that was 2 days, other than the big booth tours. That was Wednesday night, but yeah, I mean, now that I think about it, it was not very much time.
Yeah, preview night's interesting because security, I told you before, normally they were letting people take pictures, kind of. And so I tried to start my Sideshow booth tour.
He got in trouble.
I tried to start it at like 4 o'clock. And Sideshow was fine with it. They had their ropes down. No one stopped me. And I was 3 minutes into it, and security stopped me and wouldn't let me do it.
Wow.
So I had to do it like I've done previous years, and that's wait until they open the doors to the general public. And as soon as that happens, I start. It's almost like guerrilla filmmaking, because you're trying to get it done before the teeming hordes surround every piece of the booth and make it really hard to move around and that sort of thing. So yeah.
But
your booth tour was like 3 times longer than mine. I think you tried. Did you do everything?
I did everything. It was, and I wasn't going to. I think it was like 40-some minutes. And my plan originally was I really just wanted to break everything down. I wanted to do like statues, and then I wanted to do a separate Hot Toys one, and then I wanted to do, which I ended up doing, a separate Queen Studio, separate, whatever. And that worked out really great. I'm glad I did it that way. But what ended up happening was the floor opened. And so I'm just in the middle of it. And then I'm like, well, crap, I might as well start talking about the Hot Toys too, because then it started getting busy.
Right.
Because again, that window is so small. But man, if you are a YouTuber and you want to do a booth tour, that Wednesday night is the night to do it. Bottom line. A lot less people. It was still busy, but a lot less people to be able to get in there. And again, I'm novice at this. I mean, I had people tell left and right, you need to use a reflector lens or reflector. I don't know whatever lens, because then it gets rid of the glare. I'm like, and then, so I told Jeff this, like the first thing I do, like I was packed to the nines. I had all of my gear. I brought my good camera. I had taken Dan's advice and I got these little remote microphones that were, Bluetooth enabled or whatever. Didn't use those at all.
What did you use for a microphone?
My regular camera mic that I use that Rode external mic on all my videos. I use that.
But you couldn't have used that at Planet Comic-Con, though.
No, I use my phone.
Oh, that's why. Okay, all right.
Here's the thing. So here's the kicker. So I get there. I got all my stuff. I got all my new equipment. I'm so excited to try it. I forgot to bring my camera batteries. So I had one camera battery for the weekend.
Oh,
that lasted me the Sideshow booth and the Queen Studios footage and half of the Iron Studios footage. Whenever I get to the Jaws, that is then my camera and my camera mic, just me talking into my camera, and the PCS booth tour was just my phone, and then everything else from that weekend, like the video I posted today, our travel vlog, all of that was just my phone.
Wow.
So I had one camera battery. I'm like, I just kicked myself. I asked Jeff, I was like, do you think there's any camera stores nearby? Because I'm like. We tried to, Amazon it overnight or whatever, but it was not going to be there till like Friday night or Saturday morning. So I said, screw it. So that was a bit of a nightmare because I really wanted my good camera and my good mic, but I thought the mic sounded really good on those first videos.
It absolutely.
Yeah. And it was and I was really worried because like I was filming the Sideshow booth and it's facing toward me. And you remember, Dan, when we did our review, I had to keep moving the mic around. You remember, like I would turn it around. It's the same mic, but like I remember I was worried because I talked to Amy a minute from Sideshow on the video, and you could still hear her. It wasn't perfect, but you could still hear her fine. But she was the mic was still pointing to me instead of her, so it worked out okay. So now New York will have to be my trial run with the other mics, with the lapel mics and stuff. And I know Jeff used a lapel mic, and it sounded great.
Yep. I hope it sounded okay. It's hard because you're also wearing a mask, so it's a little muffled.
Yeah, I was bad. I pulled mine down a lot because I didn't know if people could hear me or not.
I got in trouble on Statue Forum because.
Did you?
Well, there's that ABC News film clip that shows me in my aborted attempt to do a booth tour at Sideshow at 4:00.
Oh, you're kidding.
And 4:00 was 2 hours before they let the public in. And at that time, no one in the hall was wearing a mask.
Nobody.
Because masks were required during show hours. And this was 2 hours before show hours. So, of course, the national news gets me on film without a mask. And I got pointed at, by some folks at Statue Forum for not wearing a mask. And I had to explain to them that there were not 125,000 people in the hall at that time. There were a few hundred exhibitors, and that was it. And it was only for 3 minutes until the cops shut me down.
Yeah.
But regarding the glare, my son taught me a really good trick. If you look at my thumbnails from my Captain Marvel video and my Psylocke video, there's no glare. It looks like I took it without the glass on the pedestal. Turns out there's like a 1/16 of an inch split in the two panels of glass on each side of each of the pedestals. And you can get your lens between the two panels.
Oh my God.
And if you do it just right and you're patient, you can get it in there and take a picture of it without the glass.
That's awesome.
So I did that for several of my thumbnails.
That's crazy. It
was really great because Tweeterhead did not have glass.
Yeah.
Queen Studios did not have glass. Iron Studios did. Sideshow did, but not the Prime 1 pieces or like anything that actually I think they were the only one without glass. I think everything else did, even if it was a different company.
Except for the N1 Starfighter.
Oh yeah, which they said they're not going to make that.
Oh really?
No, they never make that stuff.
Yeah, they said they're not going to make it.
It's weird because it said like price to be determined and edition size to be determined.
And that was always very well attended, that area. Like people were freaking out because it was massive. Like
I think if you had stood it on end, it would have been about our height.
Yeah, it was. I mean, I don't know how anybody could display that, period.
Yeah.
But I'm sure
It was
some people
cool.
would try.
It was cool though.
But yeah, and the mask thing, like I got there, and again, I was talking with people in the industry and stuff, and like again, people weren't wearing masks. So I thought, well, maybe it's not that big a deal, maybe But and that's when I started filming, so I didn't have it on. I had it like around my neck, and then I saw other people from the industry start wearing them. I'm like, okay, well maybe I need to be more. But I was still bad when I was filming. But then I tried to be better when I wasn't. But I don't know.
I got a notification today that I had a COVID exposure, and I looked it up, and it was Wednesday or Thursday. Like,
oh,
well, duh! I'm with 125,000 people.
Yeah,
in a contained space. So
I had some sort of alert from Google, but it didn't say that I was exposed or anything like that. So I was like, well, I know I was for sure.
Yeah.
There's a lot of freaking people.
Yeah, there's a lot of people.
Well, it's kind of irrelevant not to worry about masks, period. But all those people in there before they open the doors with no masks on, then they can put them on. What's the point?
Well, and also I was just going to say everybody had to have proof of a negative test.
Correct.
And or vaccination status. So like everybody that went through there had to go into a building. We all had to get an orange wristband. What was that app, Jeff? Pure or
Clear?
Clear, yeah. There's an app called Clear. I'm assuming that New York will do the same thing. Where you have to have all of this proof, and it was very simple. We walked in. I showed them my stuff. They said, "Okay, here you're good to go," and you only had to do it once for the whole weekend, which was great. So I mean, everybody there. I mean, I felt very good. Regardless, yeah. I mean, I'm vaccinated, I'm boosted, and whatever. But I'm like, I didn't really feel. I mean, sure, it's like germy and there's a lot of people, but
yeah, I mean, in the eating areas, you're allowed to not wear your mask.
Right. So
if you're eating,
and it's all closed. Yeah, I mean that's the thing. So
I mean, I outside.
I think that they do it just to cover their own butts,
Yeah.
Oh, that could be.
I mean, you could have just licked the glass at Sideshow and been just as safe.
Well, New York checked last year, but there's always people. There's ways around getting into the convention. When I was leaving, I had people actually. Well, not people. One or two people asked to actually buy my bracelet off of me, which is the COVID bracelet to show that you had
wow,
the vaccine. So
that's crazy.
There's always ways to fake things to get in, but for the most part, I think mostly everybody's vaccinated.
That's crazy.
Or had a negative test.
Well, I mean, just again, overall, I don't know. I had a very, very positive experience. I didn't have any. I don't know. Did you have anything that you didn't enjoy? I mean, I enjoyed every second of it.
No, I always love it all. I work at a community college, and I had an instructor call me today to talk about their book order for fall. And she was talking about the Eisner Awards, which are given out at Comic-Con. It's basically the Academy Awards for comics. And I said, were you in San Diego last week? And she said, yeah. And we ended up talking for like 45 minutes about the convention. So it's kind of funny to bump into people that, I mean, she's a diehard Comic-Con person just like I am. This was my 35th Comic-Con in San Diego.
Wow.
So
crazy.
Yeah, I look forward to it every single year.
Well, I want to give a shout out to you because, I mean, you were instrumental in me having some sort of sanity just knowing where stuff is and just being able to, again, spend time with you and your son and talk, and
it was super fun.
Lunch, and you introduced me to these awesome panels, and it just was, again, I just can't thank you enough. That was so much fun.
Well, you have to come back because there's a lot more to see. I mean, there's panels at the hotel right next to the convention center that we didn't do any of that.
Yep.
There's panels at the local San Diego library. There's an entire Comic-Con museum now where they also do panels. So there's a lot going on outside of the convention that we didn't really explore. So there's more to see.
I saw that museum. And it's like, way north or wherever, like from where we were. Is there actually a museum of stuff in there, or is it just panels?
Oh no, there's a museum. It just opened like within the last year.
That's awesome.
It isn't. Yeah, it's a full-time all year Comic-Con museum.
That's neat. Well, again, I'm just amazed how like overwhelming the whole thing is. And like you said, I'm sure that you've been going for 35 years, and I'm still guessing that you still have wide eyes when you see all this stuff.
It's awesome.
You know, it's just awesome. Yeah, it's just.
Yeah,
it's just
you don't
great.
want to leave. You really don't.
Yeah, like I said, I really think that you could go for a month easy and still not see even close to everything.
Yeah, and it's always hard to figure out which panel is going to be more popular than others. On Saturday or Sunday, I can't remember which day, I was there alone because my son had come home to go to a friend's birthday party, and you were gone.
Yeah,
And Bill Nye the Science Guy was there.
that's cool.
Oh, that'd be neat.
And so I got in line like a half an hour before the panel, and I did not get in.
You're kidding.
There were
Wow.
a ton of people there to see Bill Nye the Science Guy.
Do you
So
remember what
those-
Paula was in, or what?
It
room?
was 6AB, I think.
So that's a bigger room, isn't it?
It was big.
Yeah.
I mean, thousands of people.
The people that sleep outside like overnight, what panel would that be for? Like who's in that panel?
That'd be for Hall H. So it'd be the Marvel panel, the Warner Brothers panel.
Was there anybody good this year?
The
The
Rock,
Rock was there.
Wakanda Forever panel or group was there. The Guardians of the Galaxy whole cast was there.
Oh wow.
All
Yeah,
the
it's-
Marvel stuff was in there. So we had
Yeah.
Paul Rudd and the Ant-Man.
I don't know, Eric, if you watched. I posted my video today. I did a travel vlog, and it's like an hour and 40 minutes long. But there's a section where Jeff and I had gone over to what was that? Where we walked along the pathway there. What was that little village?
It's to a seashore village.
Yeah, seashore. So we had done that, and then I actually ended up going back, which I was going to leave at that point. That's when Jeff left for the evening, and I'm glad I did because I ended up having a good conversation with John from Prime One, and also I met Athena Finger, which was somebody I really wanted to meet, granddaughter of Bill Finger, but I had filmed some of the line. So you guys can see the length of the line. And that wasn't even that was only part of the line. I'm really glad that we walked that night because if I had not seen that line, I don't think I really would have understood,
Right.
what that looked like. So I'm really glad that we did that. The only thing I regret not doing is I wish I had gone to Hall H just to see, even if it was empty, just to see it. Cause we had never gone that route, but,
Right.
that was my one thing. I was like, I wish I had seen Hall H, but next year.
Yeah, just
So
to give you guys an idea, Thursday morning, my wife dropped me and my son off at Seaport Village, which is a short walk to the convention center. And we got onto it's a pathway along San Diego Bay. And the Hall H line was all the way back. And the Hall H line at that point was for Friday. It was for the next day. And this was 8:30 in the morning on Thursday.
Wow.
So they were there all day long and through the night for the Friday panels.
Yeah, I have a lot to catch up on. I barely saw any videos because I was on vacation this weekend, and every time I go on vacation, I try to stay away from my phone as much as possible, just to enjoy things away from the phone. So I'm finally trying to catch up on all the recap videos.
I don't know how many Jeff did, but I think I counted 28 videos I did.
Wow.
I think I did 18.
Wow.
Which is just nuts.
That's nuts.
I do. There were, George from MCE was there, Jim was there, and they have amazing videos. But I think, I don't know, just seeing Jeff and I work, like we were working hard, like we were working. I mean, like we just didn't stop.
Yeah.
But it was just fun. I'm really glad that we did like the little mini videos. I think that was cool. I know a lot of people. I'm sure people commented on yours too that said that they appreciated kind of the short. Instead of having to sit through 40 minutes, which 40 minutes is great if you have the time, but just kind of these quick takes on some of these, I think were fun.
And you have to really walk the floor because you never know where you're going to find. I had no idea that there were a couple of XM pieces there until I strolled by the Top Cow booth, and there's Angelus and Aphrodite. It's like, oh my God, those are two great pieces.
Yeah,
So I did a short video on those.
It was so random that they were there too.
So those were the only XM pieces? Was that the Top Cow?
Those two, yeah.
That was it. It was actually really fun. I talked to that guy, and maybe some of it was even in my video. I can't remember, but talking about it, putting a prototype together because there's all this styrofoam. Whenever you have an XM piece, there's all this styrofoam everywhere. And it said it took him just hours to put it together. So I thought it's like, yeah, now you know our pain. Now try to do it live, Mister. So that was pretty funny to be able to talk to him about that. But yeah, it was really random that they had those pieces.
Were you surprised that PCS didn't bring any of their 4 ladies that are so popular right now?
I am really shocked with what they brought. I feel like they kind of overkilled on the Rocky. And I'm not exactly sure why they went so heavy on that. I could see maybe if it was the East Coast, because I would imagine that he's maybe even more popular back east.
Right.
But yeah, I figured the ladies would have been a no-brainer. I should have asked him. I didn't. I had that great booth tour with him, which was just awesome to be able to meet him for the very first time. But
I remember he mentioned that the Rocky was the production phase, so maybe he was like eager to kind of show off, what the actual new sculpt would look like.
Maybe so. And I know a lot of people were really happy and impressed with it.
I did have one problem with that though. They're using the same sculpt for Rocky 1 and 2. And it has the Rocky 2 hair. His hair is way different in Rocky 2 than Rocky 1.
Yeah.
So it doesn't, it doesn't look right. It looks like a Rocky 2 statue in his Rocky 1 trunks.
Yeah.
we're gonna go booth by booth with some of these photos and stuff. But did you have a favorite booth?
Well, Sideshow is pretty tough to beat. Although Tweeterhead really brought it this year.
Turn that one off and turn this one on.
So I got to go with Sideshow because that includes Prime 1. They had some great stuff.
There was, I don't know, it's really tough. But Sideshow, they have such a good presentation, and they of course have. Sorry, we're trying to get some lights on in here. It's getting real dark in here. But they have also the Tweeterhead booth is still part of that Sideshow booth. So it's like, they have, I think Chad said that they have like a 10-year deal or something like that. So that Tweeterhead booth will be there for a long, long time to come.
It's a great spot for them. They used to be kind of in the back on the far left and kind of hidden in a much smaller booth. Now they are right in the middle of the convention floor, right next to Sideshow. Lots of cross traffic going back and forth between the two booths. And it's a great spot. I think they had a great show.
Yeah, they did. And I think they were real happy with it. It's kind of like front and center.
Yeah, they had some big companies come by and say, who are you people and why aren't we doing business with you? So I think it was a big show for them.
I know Chad had some really great business meetings there and with some big companies. So again, that's just exciting for him because I want them to keep growing and getting better. It's like it's an exciting company.
Yeah.
So how about you guys? Was there anything that stood out for you that was at the con that you were really like, wow, this is exciting? What did you guys think of the booths themselves?
Yeah.
I think it's going to sound funny. I think, two things. One, again, this is going to come off as biased, but really unbiased. Chris, you said something, you posted the other day, I think it was yesterday, said, I can't believe I got this picture of Robert Pattinson. That Pattinson Prime 1 piece is unbelievable.
Yeah.
The Blitzway piece, holy
it is.
Wow, does that look good? That portrait's unbelievable.
I had the same experience. I'll just interrupt you for 1 second. I had the same experience with that piece that I had with the Prime 1 Batfleck a few years ago, where I came with no, not feeling like I was going to buy that piece and walking away, joining the wait list at Sideshow for it.
Yep. Yeah, I can understand it. It looked better than in the professional studio pictures that we got from Prime 1, which is hard to do. I thought it looked great there, but anyway, so that was one that stood out. And the other piece,
I am proud of that picture.
It's really good. But even the footage that you guys, the both of you took, you can see it in the footage as well. No, the other piece was I've been going back and forth on adding Punchline to my Jimenez Joker. But wow, does that piece look enormous with her back of it? I don't know if I can fit it.
It does.
It is a massive piece. It is a massive piece depth-wise when you combine the two.
Yeah.
Which I think it's going to be very similar to that Arkham Harley. I think it's going to be very similar in size.
It's not bigger than that. It looks bigger.
The Joker himself is not that big. It is compressed.
Yeah.
But I actually complimented John because the way they did it was kind of like this accordion effect, where it looks like one full base, but you can definitely separate it out. But it was somebody just said 78 centimeters deep. It's very big and very round. But it was definitely a star of the show for me for sure. And I have both of those on order. A little breaking news. Yesterday, I did order the Robert Pattinson Batman from Prime 1.
Nice.
I also ordered the Penguin, of course, from Prime 1. I ordered those two yesterday. I'm still on the fence about whether I should get the Batman behind him or not. Since I already have two Fablock Batmans, I'm just going to kind of wait and see for just a second. But I did order Penguin, and it was because of that. Of seeing it in person is why I bought the Prime 1 Pattinson. It's just
too good.
It's just too good. And just to hear all the comments. And one of my favorite things was just standing back, kind of listening to other people.
Yep.
Jeff and I talked about this too, especially like the non-hardcore people. It was really, really interesting. One of one of my favorite comments I was specifically was the Harley Quinn, the new one from Sideshow, the Suicide Squad Harley.
Yep.
And us hardcore people in the community are like, we don't like the base. It's Dan's. I remember Dan said he might try to paint it or change it. I heard numerous people say, "Oh, I love the base. The base is fantastic."
Yeah.
So it's interesting when you hear just the casual person come in. That's why I said I like maybe Sideshow knows what they're doing.
Oh, I like it.
So I don't know, but I did get the Pattinson just because I was just so impressed with it in person.
So weren't you on the wait list at Sideshow?
I was.
So you skipped that and just went ahead and ordered it from Prime 1?
I ordered directly from Prime.
So it sounded like you were also very impressed by the Daniel Bell Dark Knight. You ordered that too?
I have not ordered it, but it is most likely going to be ordered. That was another piece for me that, and Jeff can testify to this. It is massive. It is so much bigger than you think it's going to be. It has a tremendous amount of presence. The sculpt on him looks amazing. The texturing, the detail, the lightning looks really, really good in person. My only concern was how it looks like when it's not lit up.
Yeah.
Because it was lit up the entire time. So, and most people wouldn't have it lit up. But, I mean, it's going to make one hell of a nightlight. Like, it is like, it is. But, I mean, talk about it, Jeff. Like, the size of it was just, it was just way bigger than you expected it to be.
Yeah. It's something that I can't fit in here. If I could, I would order it. But it's too big for me. It's too deep. And because the lightning bolt goes, back. And also, I believe his cape kind of goes back. So it's too hard for me to fit, but it's a really, really nice piece. If you're a big Dark Knight fan and you have the room, it's a no-brainer.
Yeah.
It was a beautiful, beautiful piece. A favorite for me for sure was the Joker from Sideshow. I loved that thing. It is creepy. I know it's not maybe everybody's cup of tea, but outside of Prime 1 pieces, I think that was my favorite piece at the con.
Oh, wow. Okay.
I probably went back 20 times to look at it.
Yeah, that's how I was with the Pattinson.
Interesting. Not a lot of chatter about the premium format Pattinson on bike.
I think part of the problem is number one, I did find out that was sculpted by Matt Black.
Okay.
I had about a 40-minute conversation with Matt. That was incredible. And I think part of the problem was, to me at least, it was really poorly lit.
It was.
It
You're
was
right.
the way the glass was and the lighting, it looked dull.
Yeah.
And I know it's not, and that's the problem. Like I kept trying to really get into there and see if the sculpt is there, if the likeness is there, and the likeness to me was. I don't know if there will be. I asked them about swap outs, and they said that they have not announced anything yet. So I'm assuming that maybe that might be an exclusive, possibly, or maybe that's something they're still working on. But I think it's going to be a really good piece. I said the problem is it's in the same booth as the Prime One piece.
Yeah.
That's the problem.
Yep.
Because the Prime One piece is photorealistic to Robert Pattinson to me.
Yep.
I mean, it looks like you literally shrunk him down. He could be breathing and fire a battering at you. And so the level of detail on him is just superb. Where obviously Sideshows is going to be smaller. The details are going to maybe be a little bit less, obviously being a premium format. But I did feel like the portrait was there. What did you think so too, Jeff?
Yeah, and I like the whole piece. I think it's just going to depend on how they price it. We don't really have premium formats from Sideshow with vehicles, other than the Superman on Brainiac's ship. We don't really have that. So if they price it at like 1,000, they might sell a lot of them. But if they go up to 14 or something, maybe not. I don't know. But the bike looked really good. Some people think the bike looks too small, but I don't think they realize that when you take a picture of that piece from the front, the bike is tipped towards you.
Yep.
So I think that's what's making it look small. I don't think, to me, it didn't look small at all.
It didn't look small to me either. I thought the detail on the bike was really good. My original guess at price point was going to be $980. I'm gonna stick with that.
Could be.
I even asked Sideshow if they thought that would be, or I think I asked Matt if he thought that would be close, and he said it hasn't been priced yet, but we'll see.
I measured it. It's 23 inches wide.
Wow. So that's bigger than it looks in the footage.
It is. And again, I feel like that's the problem with the lighting. It just kind of disappeared into that case.
Yep.
And especially when you have a giant Dark Knight Returns behind it.
Yeah.
And it was lit, and maybe that was the problem. It was lit, so maybe it kind of like backlit the bike a little bit.
Maybe.
But the cobblestone street looked really good on it.
It looks like wet cobblestone. It looks
wet,
really cool.
Yeah, wet cobblestone, kind of a mossy effect. So I think outside of that booth, it's going to be really good.
Yeah.
And again, we were talking nonstop at the con about this is the first time that they've ever done a vehicle, like you said, and so that's really exciting that they're doing something different for sure.
Yeah.
And that's why I thought 980, because if you figure like, 650, 680 for just the figure alone, I don't know. We'll see. I want to give out a shout out to Super Chat 999 from Jerome Lim. Said I canceled the SS Dark Knight Return statue a week before SDCC, thinking it was not going to fit my 1/3 statues. Then I saw it firsthand at SDCC and reordered it on the show. So yeah,
Nice.
yeah. I mean that's the thing. And thank you very much, Jerome, for the Super Chat. Thank you. I mean that's how good it is. When people will just instantly order something like that when they see it. And again,
And it's priced really good for how huge it is.
It's incredible price.
Yeah.
I just don't know. I don't know. I think maybe that's why I was especially so surprised by the price when I saw it, and then just how big it was. I'm like, whoa, this probably needs to come home with the Batcave. My problem is it's such a standalone piece. Like, where do I put that?
Right.
It's not. You can't really group it with anything else.
It got a lot of attention.
Yeah, it really, really did. It was crazy. How about you, Eric and Jeff? Anything in particular that you that stood out to you?
I really enjoyed the Sideshow booth as well. Really nice selection of statues. Most likely, probably the same ones you guys said. The Prime One Pattinson, the Dark Knight Batman. I really like that Catwoman and Batman diorama, so I think I might be ordering that. The Joker looked great in video. I think it looked better in video than it did in pictures, so it was nice to see that. What else? Probably for me, the Dark Knight, Batman, the Batman and Catwoman Dio, and Prime One Battinson were the ones that stood out to me.
One thing I wanted to mention too is that for a lot of people that have that Catwoman and Batman, I really think it pairs well with the Harley Quinn on that cannon with Joker. the scale is exactly the same. I can really see those four together. I just think it looked, I just kept going back and forth thinking, man, that would actually make a really fun.
I know they had it next to that giant Dark Knight Batman, but I was curious to hear what you might have like thought compared to maybe like other quarter scales, how it stands up. I know it's smaller, but
it is smaller, but I don't know. What do you think, Jeff? Like, I don't know if it would be.
Did it have like a nice presence to it? Did it look like?
Oh yeah,
stood out. Like looked good. Like
it was fantastic. And the cave is so big at the bottom that it adds a little height. It adds a little bit more oomph to it. But it's definitely smaller than quarter.
Yeah, you would not mistake it for a premium format.
Yeah.
There's a lot of blue highlights in the paint, which I really liked. So
yeah,
I really like the paint job on that.
It was really beautiful.
You know what surprised me? I liked the Darth Vader premium format more than I expected. It was funny because those two Vader pieces, that and the Mythos piece, were separated by one other. I can't remember which. Maybe it was Ahsoka and Boba, something like that. And on Sunday, I went back and forth looking at the Mythos piece and the premium format. And I think I'd rather have the premium format, even though the Mythos piece is getting so much attention. It occurred to me, do I want Vader at the height of his power?
Yeah.
Or at his impending biggest failure?
Yeah, that's what's going on in my head, trying to decide which one to order.
And I think I want him at his strongest. And the other thing that bothered me a little bit is, and it makes sense because of, lava and all the shine is burned away from the Darth Vader Mythos. It's matte.
Yeah.
And I don't know, I like that shine on that new car shine on the Vader premium format. I think there's a good chance I'm going to end up ordering that piece.
What did you think of the base on the premium format? That's the only thing I can't get past. I'm not sure if I love the base on it.
I don't dislike it. I mean, it's supposed to be like his hideout, whatever it's called,
it's like a forced perspective base, I guess, right?
Oh yeah, because the little tiny doors.
Yeah.
I don't know. It didn't really bother me that much. And also, it just has a smaller presence than the Mythos piece. I don't really have room for a 2-foot wide Mythos piece, but I could fit the Vader piece, and also scale. It's the right scale. All my Star Wars stuff is quarter scale except for the life-size Grogu. So it would work better with my pieces, I think.
Yeah. I was right. I agree with you on that. I feel like the Mythos is my favorite between the two, but I like the scale better of the premium format.
They're both great. It's great to have two awesome Vader choices.
Yeah.
And like Jeff said, you have the option where you can switch out the portraits on the Mythos, but his body's is always going to be burned up, and he doesn't have that gloss on him. So it's like you said, you're stuck with that specific time in his story where he's like almost defeated. So it's like, do you want that, or like Jeff said, his height, when he's at his best. So that's what's I'm trying to decide myself. I'm leaning a little bit more towards the premium format. So we'll see.
It looked really good in person.
Yeah,
it really, really did.
It looks really good in every picture and video I've seen of it.
I like that. That one lights up too.
Kind of classic. That's the other thing, because the last Vader format, premium format they did, I don't think it lit up. Not the lightsaber.
And his chest, I believe, lights up too. They don't say that on the Sideshow page, but I seen in the videos like his all the
Yeah,
I think there's something on the belt too.
I think so.
Could be.
I saw his name mentioned earlier. It's a little off topic, but I want to give a shout out to Charles Carosa at Choice Fine Art. Actually, I think tomorrow I've got my swag video coming out where I show everybody like the art prints and everything that I picked up. But I did buy an Alex Ross canvas. I know Dan, our friend Dan, has it, and he loves that canvas a lot. And this is the Batman and two gargoyles. I think it's actually just called Gargoyles, isn't it? I think
it is Grim Gargoyles.
Grim Gargoyles.
Yep.
So that piece is coming home. I spent a lot of money on that, but
you are gonna love that.
Well worth it, I think.
I look at mine every day.
Yeah.
That's one of the pieces that's in the foyer of my house. When you walk in my front door, that is on the right-hand side of my foyer.
Yeah. It sets the tone.
Picked up the Joker's Reckoning when I sent it to you.
Oh,
Chris, you saw that in person, right?
I am looking at that piece.
That one's
And
amazing.
I'm also looking at this.
Yeah.
That Ross
Nice.
just released.
Yeah.
I love this artwork. Love it.
So
That's
that was
cool.
the logo on Batman when I was first started buying Batman back in the mid 70s.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's what it's kind of reminiscent of. I love that.
Yeah.
So I didn't realize, but Alex on the Alex Ross Art website, he released that canvas. So of the canvases that I have in my collection, which are quite a few, I've gone through Charles, I think, for all but one of them. So
Awesome. Yeah.
I told him, look for me in New York. I'm coming.
Yeah. Well, he was awesome, and we did a little booth tour together, and he gave me a nice deal on that canvas, and so it's really awesome.
His prices are usually better than Alex Ross's website.
Yeah, exactly.
So
And
even
that's
if you
why
see it on Alex Ross' website, ask him because he'll get it for cheap.
Yep, and that's exactly what I did. And also, they do whoever does the framing for Choice Fine Art does a great job.
Yeah, I love their frames as well.
Yep.
They do I forget what's called. It's like an inner fabric going around the frame. They use a lot.
Yep.
Because a lot of my stuff here is from Charles, and
Yep.
I really like that.
Yep.
They had that great. I don't remember which Joker it is, or which Alex Ross, but it's the one where Batman's choking Joker. It's
That's
got all the villains around him.
Yeah, that's the one I was asking you. The Joker's Reckoning. So that's actually for sale right now.
Is it really on canvas?
Yes, it doesn't come up very often, so that's why I sent it if you guys wanted.
How much do they have it listed for? Do you know?
Dan, do you remember? Was it 12 or 15 or something like that? I don't know.
I don't recall.
It was on Alex Ross's website for 12 something.
Yeah, that's where.
It was available most of the weekend on his website.
I need to check it out. I paid a lot more than that for the.
It's gone. It's gone now.
I was trying not to say where it was
Everything
because I know it's going to go fast as soon as you say where it is.
Red gargoyles, Chris, is really scarce. It's funny you should mention that because I know that you were kind of holding that a little close to the vest, and I didn't want to ask.
Yeah.
I actually had somebody yesterday from the UK pinging me about that piece.
Really?
Just asking me where can I get my hands on one.
Well, Charles said that was the last one. That was their last one they had.
Wow.
So,
Yeah.
he said that. I'm like, I got to do it.
Yeah.
And then as soon as I bought it, they brought out another version, but it was just like the small framed one, and that's what they put out. They had some of those, but
Not the same.
not
the same.
Yeah, not the same.
Yeah.
Patrick, $4.99 super chat. PO'd Infinity Studios Harley bust. They keep delayed shipping. Is it normal for them? Have you heard any update on yours, BSC? Should I be concerned? No, don't be concerned. Everything in collectibles is being delayed. I wouldn't be concerned at all. They're just now shipping the Batman bust, which I've had for a year. And I don't know how I was even able to get that one. So I got that one from Todd. So I would not worry at all about the delays. It's very normal these days. Very normal.
Did you hear that was it the J&D Harley that a collector who already has it figured out that there's a tongue?
Oh
Is
my
it really?
God. Oh my God.
I
Like
saw a
tongue.
video, and the guy. It was one of those videos that made you feel uncomfortable. Some of his comments, and it was subtitled, and it was like, "Yeah, that's not very creepy." And he was way too fixated on the mouth, and it was like,
I sure do love them dentures.
mm,
Oh, God.
mm,
Oh.
mm.
Well, God bless you, J&D, with your level of, your commitment to realism.
Yep.
Well, that's where we get really scary with like the Margot Robbie one if it has like a life size, everything. So
Mm-hmm.
we'll see. I guess.
I totally understand why Marvel said we're not doing 1-to-1 scale
Those are the
of our
Scarlet Command.
female.
Yep.
Apparently, it's any female. They're not doing a 1-to-1 with any female. And it's like, because you know somewhere there's going to be a video of something.
Without a doubt.
And it's going to be like,
Oh God.
Yeah. Yeah.
There was
I believe the word
saw
is
some
that.
videos where there was, I'm not going to mention the name, but like replaced his hot 1/6 scale female with like the bison realistic.
Oh yeah.
And it's like, you're a little too excited about that.
Yeah. Yeah. They get very excited about their photography sometimes.
When it's like, makes you feel uncomfortable and dirty watching it. It's like,
Yeah. But let's segue to something that's not uncomfortable and dirty. Look what I just bought here on vacation.
Oh wow.
Oh,
Nice.
look at that. Nice.
And it's
Little
only
set.
422 pieces. So
Yeah.
This one I could put together.
yeah.
So I thought that was pretty fun. We were at Walmart today buying some groceries, and I thought I would share that with everybody because I thought that was kind of cool. I had not seen that one, the little tumbler. So anyway, I got something to do in the evenings.
Did you see the Star Wars piece in San Diego?
Where was it at?
It was like it was at the Lego booth. It was one of those, I think it was an Imperial Walker, and it was enormous.
I don't know if I did. I don't even know if I got footage of the Lego booth.
I got a photo of it, but it was impressive. It's one of those.
I did because I had I filmed like the Mario people, but that booth was packed
Yeah.
too.
Yeah, it's a popular booth.
It was crazy. What else you guys want to talk about? You want to look at pictures? We've got a lot of pictures.
Let's look at pictures. We're already an hour in. Let's look at pictures.
All right. Again, this is going to be kind of a crapshoot, guys, so I apologize. Can you see that okay?
Yep.
Yes.
So these are just pics from the Sideshow booth. We can just kind of go through these quick, and I've got other pics too. This is from the Fairy Tale Fantasies line. This is J. Scott Campbell. What do you guys think about this new one here?
I love it.
That's nice.
Yeah. I didn't realize how see-through the clothing was when I showed it to my wife because it was a little bit of a sun glare on my phone when I showed it to her. So, yeah, she wasn't too thrilled.
It's kind of hard to tell that it's as sheer as it looked there, I guess. It's pretty sheer.
It's pretty sheer. This one I thought really stood out. This is obviously their new piece. It has the magic mirror in the background, but this is the one. This was my favorite one.
Yeah,
I think that's my favorite one.
It really stood out to me. Just beautiful portrait. I think it's one of the best female portraits I've ever seen.
I like the Evil Queen.
I love how the tree is going to grab her.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's really cool. Kind of reminds me of Disneyland ride.
Yeah.
Kind of the Snow White. So again, these are just photos of the base of the Evil Queen. Some of the details.
Pieces are really well done. I mean,
yeah, it looks great.
Well sculpted. They all look great.
Yeah.
I did have a couple of opportunities to talk to J. Scott Campbell. The dinner that I went to, he was there, and I sat right beside him. And I just kept trying to ask him about the possibilities of a DC line. Would he be interested? And he very, very much would. But he just said that these, specifically, like working on these, it just takes up so much time. So I don't know. I don't know if that's something that we might see down the road, but would you guys want to see some DC characters from him?
Yeah, sure. I was hoping to see more villains from this line because I thought he said there was going to be more villains on display.
Maybe they're just starting with the Queen. Maybe
Yeah, I'm sure we'll see
that's
more.
the first villain because since these are all heroes.
Why is her hair like shaped like Maleficent's head? Is the only thing I don't
The Evil
understand.
Queen.
On her. Yeah, she has the horns almost like.
I don't know.
That's what I thought.
Maybe just a design choice. Maybe.
Yeah, maybe.
This was the variant
Mm-hmm.
they had on display there. I thought she looked good.
Yeah, I think Tink was a variant too.
Yeah,
Yep.
The fall edition.
But very cool line. I think that these all looked really good in person.
People are curious what the Evil Queen will be priced at because that mirror is a pretty large proximity piece.
Yes,
Yeah.
it is. I think she'll be more than the others.
Yeah.
But I mean, look at that portrait. Jiminy Christmas. It looks so good.
Not to mention the skirt.
Yeah. Yeah. Just definitely for me, best in show on that line. Really beautiful. Here's another shot of the Queen. That's a good point about the horns. Yeah, it's very Maleficent.
Yeah, I just wish she actually had a little bit more clothing on. This way I can actually display it in my house because I don't think my wife's going to approve if I.
Yeah.
I could see that.
They have to be careful with Maleficent. Isn't Maleficent purely a Disney property?
Yeah.
I think so. Yes.
You got to be careful with that.
So maybe they can't do her. Maybe that's why he did it, kind of like a Maleficent head.
Yeah, no, they can't do it. They
You know?
can't do her.
There's the mirror. Obviously, we have Cinderella back there. She was kind of hard to see in photograph.
I've seen that one in a store at a way more than you think it is from pictures.
Yeah,
It's very. I mean, you get because it's kind of hard to tell in the picture that it's forming, but
Yeah.
you definitely get it when you see it.
Right. It always bothered me that her eyes are not open.
Yeah, that would be nice if they were. This is one of Sideshow's newer lines. These were a smaller scale too. Are these? I don't know. It might have been 1/5 scale.
At the most.
Yeah, at the most. They were not very big. And I don't really know much about this line, but I did think that specifically the new female one was really nice.
What's the name of it? Do we know?
This is Grog.
I'm trying to. A critical role. Ryan is saying critical role is 1/5.
1/5. Okay. So there's a lot of different characters they've done that they had on display there. Again, they're just kind of whimsical characters. I think they're all Sideshow's creations, I believe.
No, they're from a property.
Oh, are they from a property?
Yeah, critical role.
Okay. I'd seen that one before. They're pretty fun. Had the Hulk versus Hulkbuster maquette on display. That was kind of cool to see. I'd never seen that one in person.
Mm-hmm.
This is the one I got most hate for. I said Stargirl.
So.
Yep, I know.
Yeah.
This is Captain Marvel, of course. Really great piece in person too. I thought she looked really great.
So I have her on pre-order.
Did it solidify it for you?
It did, but it also made me realize if they had done a light up feature in that base that lit all the way up to her fists, it would have been outrageously cool.
It would have been awesome.
Yeah,
Or maybe some translucent resin just so it reflects the light.
maybe, yeah.
It's awesome.
But it's one of my favorite portraits. I love the portrait.
I want to give a shout out to Esther, also from Sideshow. She took all these photos. I got to meet her. That was really cool. But this one was really good. Again, not Stargirl.
And she's the loft. Her feet are not touching the base at all.
No.
It's cool.
This one looked pretty good to me as well. This one's already shipped.
What did you think of the teeth, the mouth area?
Not a fan of her face.
Yeah.
Just okay. But again, from a distance, I thought it looked good. Storm looked good.
I thought she looked great.
Yeah, that's the first time I'd seen her in person, and I thought that was really great. See Psylocke in the background.
She looked even better.
Yeah.
Yep.
I think you said in one of your videos, Jeff, too. It's like I think that base works the best out of all their force perspective bases.
I think so.
Beautiful portrait on that one. Storm. I thought the Star Wars pieces looked really good in person. This is the new Boba Fett.
Yeah. Between that Battinson on bike and the Ahsoka, Matt Black is becoming Sideshow's go-to person for actor likenesses.
Yeah. There's Dan Default's forklift back in the background.
There you go.
Careful.
That's right. Clearly,
Can't
before
wait
they
to get that Ahsoka.
yeah, you can see her over here.
She's perfect.
She is perfect. Yeah, perfect likeness.
I'm
really
thinking
good.
about the Boba.
Be careful. Don't go that route. You're gonna get stuck. You'll become Jeff Delaney, the Star Wars statue collector.
Uh-oh. No, there are plenty of YouTubers with better Star Wars collections than me.
That's what I'm saying. Is that's where it starts.
Yeah.
That's where it starts. But yeah, this piece was absolutely beautiful in person.
Sean in the chat wants to know what you thought of Storm's hairline in person.
I thought it looked better.
Yeah, I did too. I didn't like this. This feels like a hard cut right here, but in person, you didn't really notice it.
Yeah, I thought it was much better.
Yeah, I agree on that. Again, Soka looks. I mean, look at that.
That's Rosario.
It's just perfect. Really great detail on her. I mean, look at that. I mean, geez, every angle looked good on her. And Matt sculpted her too.
Yeah.
Jeez, it's incredible.
Matt's one of those guys where if you have a spare minute, you need to search Matt Black on Sideshow's site, and you will be surprised at how many pieces come up.
Have you met him before?
No, it was funny. I mentioned earlier I was going back and forth looking at the Vader premium format and the Mythos piece. He was like 15 feet away from me looking at his phone, but I think he was conscious of what I was doing. And I should have said hello to him, but I didn't. I'm an idiot. But
He was so cool to talk to.
I will never be as cool as Matt Black. He is like the most stylish person on the planet.
Well,
He's taller than I am. He's totally cut. He just seems like so cool.
he was so like this. So I'm at this dinner and he's like in a full black tuxedo type thing. It just, he's got like a martini or something in his hand. He's got his vampire teeth. It's just like he's just like, oh, he's just the coolest guy.
He is.
It was awesome. Mando, this one's been out for a while. This is another one I thought looked way better in person. Like I didn't really that walking stance didn't bother me at all.
The problem I have with this piece, there's two problems actually. Number one, I think he's too thin. The actor is not that thin.
Yeah.
I think Iron Studios did that better. And also just some of the details on the clothing, I think, and even the armament looks better on the Iron Studios than this one. But yeah, the pose isn't quite as bad in person. And also they had it for 15% off during the show.
Great price.
With free shipping.
Yeah, great. These are the new Baby Yoda, Grogu premium formats. They had on display, so that was kind of cool to see them. They're little.
Are these pieces really tiny?
Tiny.
Like they got to be small.
They're
They're
small.
like, what, 3 or 4 inches?
Yeah, they're really tiny.
Yeah.
Really tiny.
It's probably like size of like a raccoon premium format.
No.
No,
The
smaller.
Smaller?
Rocket Raccoon was like 8 inches at least.
Yeah, these are way smaller. Got a bunch of 6-scale stuff there as well. Clint Eastwood. A lot of these had really good likeness.
Yep.
spend as much time on some of the 6 scale stuff. It was still cool to see them. Yeah, they had different movies. They had a Crow 6 scale.
Other than kind of statue company creators, artists, etc., did you guys bump into any celebrities on the show floor?
I did not.
You did not?
I just ran into that wrestler.
Yep.
They often wear masks.
Yes.
I found out later on that they were there.
Yeah.
That's the problem. Is I know that there were some people. I kind of ran into somebody. I did a cosplay video yesterday, and the very first girl there was in an Electra costume, and she is on MythBusters.
Oh, really?
Yeah, she's on MythBusters, I guess, or maybe it's MythBusters Junior, but she's got like 720,000 followers on Instagram. So she's.
I think I took a picture of her too.
Yeah, so she's a known person. I didn't know that at the time.
Oh, I did see somebody actually on preview night. I was waiting to get into the Sideshow booth. It was still roped off, and I heard Tom from Sideshow say, "Would you like to come in?" And I looked up, and it was Rick Nicotera, the executive producer of The Walking Dead.
Oh, yeah.
Nice.
Yep.
And he led him. I took a few pictures of him and posted them in my group.
Yep. That's right.
That's really neat.
Yeah.
Justin asked if any of the artists recognize Chris as the BSC. The answer is yes. Lots of people recognized Chris.
I was surprised. Like the Sideshow team knew who I was, and I want to give a shout out to Guillermo Barbiero. I mean, oh my God,
That dude's awesome.
This guy, he is sculpted for Sideshow. Now that we're in this area, he is sculpted for Sideshow, and he was just kind of hanging out at the Tweeterhead booth, and that's where he worked the whole weekend because he sculpted a majority of those statues. And I tell you, I told him this. I was like, I consider him a friend. Like he was awesome. I got to hang out with him and talk to him for about an hour and a half at the Tweeterhead dinner, and just he's just a guy that wants to improve. He wants to get better. He wants to be a part of this community, and just an awesome guy.
He's super generous. He talked a lot about my Superman review and how he think that really gave the piece a lot of exposure, and he's just a really nice guy. He doesn't speak English really well, but he tries. And
he kept going up to me and says, like, "Is my English okay?" He was really worried about that. I'm like, I think he does great.
Yeah, I do too. And
I don't know, he just seems like a really good person, and I'm just excited for him in the future. But it was just in just to see him, he kind of sat back and just listened to people, what they liked about the sculpt, or maybe what people said they didn't like. Like he was just sitting back, learning, observing.
Yeah. I've been mentioning him a lot over the past year because I think he's underappreciated. He really is very responsible for that Superpowers line 2.0 at Tweeterhead. Plus, he did a lot of great pieces at Sideshow, including the Deadpool right in front of me. So he's a talent for sure. For sure.
So that was really neat. But yeah, I mean, people recognizing me and Jeff, like that was really cool. And just like, I don't know how many people came up to you, Jeff, overall that knew of your channel and stuff like that. But like that was just so awesome to have people get excited. You remember that one guy in the sales?
Yep.
Like he was just so excited, and it was just like that was just.
It was like he was meeting Tom Cruise.
That's what. But it was just like those moments were really special to me. So I just thought that was really awesome.
My one moment of pride the whole weekend was when we were sitting waiting for, I think, the Jim Lee panel, and a guy sitting to our right reached across Chris and said to me, "Hey, aren't you the Secret Sanctuary guy?" That was the only time that happened the whole weekend.
That's
where
awesome.
we were both together and they recognized me first.
I loved it.
It was funny.
And you graciously goes, "Oh, and this is Chris the Batman statue." It was awesome.
Was
I
fun.
loved it. These were awesome on display. Venom and Symbiote Spider-Man and Carnage.
Yeah. Symbiote Spider-Man by Guillermo Barbiero.
That's right. We were just talking about him. This one right here is, of course, by Martin Canale, which is fantastic. These were really impressive in person. This is a massive piece.
Yeah, it's big.
Really, really big. Oh, that was a nice touch, too, with the Spider-Man mask. And there's Guillermo right there.
Yep.
That's an awesome, sick piece. Let's see. Look the Crows. They have a new Cad Bane.
If they had a quarter scale, it'd do really well.
I can't believe they haven't yet.
Yeah,
But I thought the figure looked really good.
it did.
I'll skip by these. I don't know. This is the Prime 1 Transformers piece. Had some nice attention at the con.
Big.
Big piece, yeah, a lot of detail. And this is Beast Wars, I believe. But a lot of great detail on this one.
It's cool. I like the paint.
Yeah, the paint was really good. This was a big hit. Obviously, this is the Vampirilla.
Yeah.
Very cool.
She looked just phenomenal. Obviously, this one got a ton of attention.
And you know what? It wasn't as scary big as I expected. It looked
Yeah.
more manageable space-wise than I thought it would.
It's still very much a third scale,
Yeah.
but the depth wasn't too bad. You know, she's real petite. But this one, I think, is going to be very, very popular overall.
Yeah.
Well, from their video and photos, I was not really sure whether it actually looked as much like the artwork as one would want it to be. But in your guys' video, I saw whatever it was that I needed to see that made me think, yeah, it is. And it had something to do with from the nose and eyes up, that area.
Okay.
It seemed different. In their, I don't know if they didn't show it clear enough, or maybe it's that break in her, like the bang hairline looks more solid in their videos, where it looks accurate.
I feel like, I mean, just from my observation is like, I feel like it was, I mean, just perfect. I thought it looked great. I feel like it captured the spirit of the art.
I tried to show every inch of her.
Yes. I mean, that's the thing is like, I think that Jeff, if you're on the fence about this one, I don't think you should hesitate.
I agree.
It's really good.
It's just, can you justify it?
Yeah. And that's this for me. This is one of those ones where I left the convention saying I'm buying this one.
Stop.
I still most likely will, but I still have to justify, will it fit my collection?
Yeah.
And that's my main hang up. But there's no doubt that I want it.
Yeah, it's gorgeous, but it's like, you know.
Yeah. But
who would she naturally pair with I don't know the Vampirilla, universe at all. Who would she naturally pair with character-wise? Are there characters that those of us on the outside would know?
Jeff, I can't really think of any.
Yeah.
I thought she would look cool next to the Batman Who Laughs, because they're both. I know in some of her stories, she's, goes up against some pretty gruesome characters.
So Theodore in the chat says Red Sonja because they're both from Dynamite.
They would.
I think that'd be
That kind of look.
that'd be a good pair up.
What was that book somebody shared in the group? I think it was Vampirella and Catwoman.
Catwoman.
Yeah.
think it was from the 80s, maybe.
I do agree with Ryan in the chat that Vampirella does feel like a standalone pedestal piece.
Yeah.
I agree with that. She's stunning.
That's why I said if I had some more horror stuff, that would, she would go good with Elvira. If somebody met an Elvira, that could.
I could see Tweeterhead doing one. I don't know if they do it. They want to do a third scale, but
Quarter scale would work.
yeah.
I've got a 1/6 scale piece, but those get lost.
Yeah. This is the Ripley piece from Prime 1. This is quarter scale. I think Jeff and I both thought this looked better in person.
Yeah, I joined the wait list for this one too at Sideshow.
Nice.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I do feel like I talked to John about it, and it's the same sculpt as it was all along, but they just painted it differently.
Yeah.
And I think the paint looked really good. I know you mentioned Jeff, and I think maybe I did too, that she looked maybe a little bit young still.
Yeah.
But I still feel like it looks a lot better to me.
I agree.
And the fact that you're going to order it, that says a lot.
Well, it's waitlisted, so there's no commitment there.
That's true.
But
then you're going to need an alien.
Well, that's what the bonus is. It's
Yeah.
it's the egg with the alien coming out.
Yep.
But you mean a full?
You're going to need one of those quarter scale aliens to go with it. One of those $2,500 aliens.
I kept coming back to this piece.
It was good. And it had a really nice, cool base.
Yeah. And there's an effect on that base that we didn't see at the convention where there's a light up feature where it looks like you can look down and see several floors below her.
Oh, that's cool.
Is that where that mirror is?
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
cool. I thought the mirror itself looked cool, but
Yeah.
that's really neat.
It was kind of funny. John was standing around the booth a lot.
He was. That was awesome.
So you'd be looking at the Prime 1 pieces and suddenly you'd hear this soft voice behind you say, "Which one's your favorite?" You turn around and it's John Pham. And you're like, "Oh my God, which one's my favorite?"
It was so cool getting to meet him and talk to him.
Yeah.
I mean, I've been talking to him behind the scenes for years and years, but it was such an honor to meet him finally.
Yeah.
The Freddy Krueger is like that. It has mirrors in the base where when you look down into the base, it looks like you're looking like into a pit.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
So to be clear for Sean in the chat, only the bonus version is waitlisted at Sideshow. The regular version, I believe, is still available.
And the bonus is the one with the alien base, like this thing.
That thing, right? Correct.
Okay. This was a couple of other pieces from Pure Arts. This was the Batman cow. I don't know if they have a couple pictures of that. I was a little underwhelmed by it.
Mm-hmm.
I wish it was taller. But it definitely is a polystone material. This was the piece that they actually had lit up that day.
Right.
I don't know if you saw it lit up or not, but
I did. It looked cool. I don't know the characters, but it looked cool.
yeah, I don't either. But cool piece from Pure Arts. Again, I don't know anything about this one. It's definitely not Stargirl. This piece looked cool.
Oh yeah, that got a lot of attention.
It was really well done. Big. I mean, she's a quarter scale piece, but looks like third.
She's 35 inches tall.
Wow. Wow.
Big piece,
The character's supposed to be like 9 feet tall.
Wow.
but good sculpt. It was a little hard to photograph her face at the angle they had her, but
Right.
she looked good. Good detail on her. Okay, and sorry guys, these are just from Sideshow's site. They're a little out of order, but getting clean. This way we talked about. Good sculpt on those. This is one from Dune. This one I thought looked really good in person.
Yeah, that likeness is spot on.
Really good. Again, quarter scale. All the cut and sew looks really great.
Yeah.
Is the Robert Pattinson Is the body all sculpted? Or
Yes,
some of it fabric?
all sculpted.
All sculpted except the cape.
Yep.
Because the laces on the pants looked fabric. Looked like actual.
They sculpted it so nice. It's really unbelievable. This piece looked good to me.
Yeah. I don't need him in my collection, but he was really
Yeah,
good.
me either. I don't think the movie was all that popular either, but all right. So
Yeah.
the first couple days, sorry, I was actually distracted by Punchline back over there too.
So I was just looking.
The first couple days they had the unmasked portrait, and in the next couple days they had the masked. I'm somebody that would normally say, oh, I'll never display it like this. I would, because this portrait is so good.
Yep.
Yeah.
Me too.
So I know this one's coming home to Wayne Manor North.
It is.
And I know it's coming home to the Batcave now. It's a really cool piece. Big base on it, though. Big base.
Well, not scary big.
Not scary big, but it was big.
Yeah. And he's 31 inches tall.
Did they have that head down there before? I didn't see that.
No, that must have been during setup.
Or maybe this is the Hot Toys. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe I might have been during setup. But awesome likeness. Again, I heard so many people were wowed by this one.
Yeah.
And the detail in the suit is crazy.
Yep.
It's
They
good.
they put an edition size on this yet?
I don't think so. I could be wrong.
Last time I looked, they didn't.
This was another giant hit for me, seeing these two in person. This is the George Jimenez Joker, along with Punchline. I have both of these on order, and I recommend them both to anybody that's a fan of these two characters.
The thing I noticed, he seems ultra realistic, and she looks animated. They don't look like they go together to me, but that's just me.
I didn't get that vibe. I mean, her
Especially
face,
her face and stuff looks very
Yeah. I think it's
like
the
an
makeup.
animated character.
You can see that.
her face is meant to be quirky, so I don't know if that's maybe what you're seeing. Maybe I thought they went together really nicely.
Of course, that's just from the photographs and stuff.
But I can see what you're saying. But I feel like that looks pretty realistic.
Yeah, she's just making a funny face between that and the makeup.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the makeup that makes it feel more cartoony. But it's like if you actually look without that,
Yeah.
sculpt is pretty realistic looking to me.
It's hard to judge a lot of these just from photographs.
But I love it. I like her better than the Joker.
Do you really? Wow.
I do. And I love both of them. But my eye just kept going to her. I really like her a lot. People love these.
Yeah.
These were massive.
They are.
The bases on these are massive. But they are really, really well done. A lot of thought behind these. And I like Sinestro better than Green Lantern.
Me too.
Yeah.
I'm curious how they're selling.
I don't know. I would think that they would be doing pretty well because obviously they're the first time being done in third scale.
Yeah, that's true.
And they're so tall.
Mm-hmm.
Really tall. It was fun talking to John with him pointing out things on the statue. I think he was really proud of these. But I thought these were really well done. Look at that. I mean, look at that sculpt.
Yeah.
It just seemed too big for me.
They're big, Jeff. Like they're really big, especially the bases. I mean, they just explode outward.
Yeah, they seem like Hush Superman big.
Yeah, they were big. They sure pack a big punch, for sure. Some other pieces at the booth. I wasn't all that wowed by this one.
You know, the price was pretty good on this one, though.
Yeah, I thought so too. I thought it was a little bit kind of cartoony, a little bit.
Yeah, but isn't it like
After seeing the
$5.90?
Queen Studios version of this, it's kind of hard to go back.
Yeah. But it was still fun.
Mm-hmm.
And they had the liquefied version as well. This was a cool piece with the screen behind him is actually a real screen.
Yeah.
So it was really doing all kinds of real funky things. But it was neat to see.
He was there.
Yes, he was. Hall 8. That would have been pretty awesome.
Yeah.
See if I can get to some of the Batman stuff. I want to get some of that. Getting lots of cool statues. That one's a cool one.
Yep. I think they put out production photos of that today.
That's awesome. Is that Pure Arts too?
I think so, yeah.
So yeah, it looked cool. Got some George Jimenez, or not George Jimenez. Is it Paul Hernandez, right?
No, Jesse Hernandez.
Jesse Hernandez. Jeez, I'm gonna get it right one of these days.
At least you
I
didn't call
think
Starlight.
Paul's the sideshow dude.
Yeah, Paul. That's right. I got to meet Paul. That was 233 photos. Let's see what else we have new. We'll just kind of jump around a little bit. This was shown off today from Hot Toys. Did you guys see this?
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks good too.
Brand new 6 scale, but it's got the exposed helmet. This will sell well.
Yeah, they all Darth Vader just is a seller.
They're obviously going
I
to
don't know that guy. I don't know who he is, but that looks good.
He's from the new Obi-Wan Kenobi show.
Yeah.
Was he one of the Inquisitors?
Yes, he was the head
Okay.
Inquisitor guy. So anyway, I think this will be real popular.
Yeah, this looks really good. I like that you get both, versions out. Like you get the battle damage, and then you could also get the polished look.
Now, let's see. I'm gonna go into some photos here that I sent Dan. So we had some issues with the screen share here, so I'll just kind of go in and again, these are not necessarily in order, but we can still talk about stuff. This was also revealed just this week. What do you guys think of this one? This one's from Prime 1.
It's a Blitzway thing too.
Yep.
It looks cool. I love the way they got. I'm really curious how that's gonna work floating.
I like the that look right there with the cloak.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's already up for pre-order.
Yes, it is. There's two
Yeah.
different versions. There's where he's got like this gold. You guys see like the gold belt and the gold bracelets and stuff. And there's another one with black.
It took me forever to figure out what the difference was between the two.
Me
Yeah,
too.
that's all it is.
I was like, what's the difference? But
But yeah, he's being held up by this, whatever it is.
that's cool.
It's really cool, especially at third
I'm really
scale.
curious how that's going to be heavy.
I would think so. It's a cool look.
I wonder if it's going to be made, the body and that piece are going to be made together.
It could be. I know. Blitzway does the PVC heads.
Yeah.
So maybe he'll be PVC.
I've heard some collectors say this piece would look great faced off with the Hush Superman.
It would look phenomenal.
Yeah.
And that's the route they're going to go. They're wanting to pair. I mean, he wants Cavill to be Superman.
Yeah.
He's actually friends with Cavill in real life, and that's what he would like to see happen. So I don't know. So anyway, that's coming up. Let's see what else we got. Sorry, I've got a lot of photos, guys. Let's talk about this guy. This also finally went up for pre-order. I did order him yesterday, but this is what was exciting. What do you guys think about the Arkham penguin head?
Yeah, it's going to make a lot of people happy.
Yep.
Yeah. I'm glad that they did this, and the say cheese, the way they did that, where it's kind of a multi-purpose version. So everybody, you can put it with your game Batman, your comic book Batman, that'll go well with the movie version, the Danny DeVito. If they ever make, they're doing Val Kilmer. It's close.
Yeah, I mean it's just really smart.
Personally, I don't like the way the gaming portrait looks on the statue. I remember from the game he always had like suspenders on. Did he have like the big feather jacket in the game and that body type look?
No, I mean it's a different look. It's not an exact match.
Yeah.
But it does at least throw a bone to people that would like to have it.
Yeah, the portrait looks spot on to the game, from what I remember.
That's the thing.
All of the portraits look good. I mean, the two comic book version, it would be hard to choose. That's one that they need to do some headstands with
I
it, so
agree.
you can have those out.
Yeah, I'd go back and forth between the comic ones all the time. Let's talk about this. This was sculpted by Guillermo Barbiero, the new Batman. What do you guys think?
It looks good.
Can't wait to see it painted.
Yeah.
They did say that they are going to tweak it, that this was just rushed to get it out so people could see it. But Guillermo said that they want to add more texture. They want to redo the cape and add texture to that, add more detail, and possibly make the base taller, which I think would be a really good thing.
He said it's 80%. It's only 80%.
80%.
So is this the next PF or
No.
No, this is Tweeterhead.
This is Tweeterhead. Okay.
Yeah. So 1/6 and maybe 1/4.
Yeah. So again, they're going to continue to sculpt it. I had some behind the scenes information, which I'm not going to share right here yet, but I think the idea of going a little bit taller will be very good compared to what some other characters they're wanting to bring out with this one. So stay tuned.
It looked really good. It did seem a little short when you saw it in the line with the other stuff it was in line with.
That's why I think they want to make it quite a bit taller, just so it kind of has a V effect, have him in the middle.
I thought that could benefit from a foam block.
Yeah, sure. I think they're definitely going to make it taller. This is another one that looked really a lot better in person too, I thought.
Yeah, it's a fun piece.
It's a fun one. This guy, oh my God.
Mm-hmm. That's my Joker right there.
How do you look in person?
Chad showed us a picture of the quarter scale next to a person. Oh my God, guys. There is a reason why it's the price it is. It's worth every penny. It is giant. So, whether you have this one on pre-order at 6 scale or quarter scale, you're going to be happy either way, I think. Because really the 6 scale is the size of a normal quarter scale.
Yeah.
I like the Joker. It's just to put him with everything else I don't have room for his chair and accessories.
Going back to Batman, I like the idea of adding texture, but do the rest of the pieces in that line have like texture? Because from what I remember, most of the characters have like smooth finishes on their like costume.
It's not a lot of texture, but there is texture on the 2.0 pieces.
Okay.
We already talked about these. These are just my photos, so we'll kind of go through them.
The way they did those lantern pieces reminds me of how the quarter scale Green Lantern, the new 52, looks with that very shiny green, and then the black is matte.
You look good in person.
It's beautiful in person.
And Guillermo did that one too.
The main complaint that those statues had from people, they were too shiny. Meanwhile, they look great in person. I like it.
I think the shininess was perfect.
Oh man, the green looked gorgeous on the Green Lantern I have. I love it.
Yeah, I have the same ones. I love both. The Flash is the same way. It's just they have like this shine. It really pops in the collection.
I loved it. This is the new Ronin by Martin Canale. What did you think of this one, Jeff? I thought it looked really good.
Yeah, I think it looked better in person. It's got another forced perspective base, but it's an interesting piece. He's leaping at kind of a weird angle, but the arrows in him and everything, it's pretty cool. Lots of good detail on the costume.
It seemed like it would be a strange one to display how you would do it, because he seems like he's jumping low.
You need him up high.
Yeah.
This is a top shelf statue.
You
could not have this one on the floor.
I wonder if they'll do any companion pieces to it.
I'm sure he would like to.
Like more samurai stuff.
Who would you do with that? I mean, was there other characters in that? I'm not familiar with, or is it just the style?
Yeah, this is just an original from Sideshow. It's not associated with any story that I know of.
Something different.
It's gorgeous.
This was from Koto USA at a booth. They had the original, and then they also had the black version. This was a con exclusive that you could buy there. I thought that was neat to see the two. This was actually a little bit bigger than I thought it was. Did you see this one, Jeff? Did you see that booth?
Yeah, it looked pretty good.
Pretty good.
How did Joker's face look in person?
Better. It still needs more paint, but I thought it looked better in person than it does in photos.
Yeah.
And the interesting thing was that these colors were a lot more vibrant, whereas this was all the colors on Joker were muted to go with the black of Batman. So the colors, you guys can see that it's bright, darker. So I thought that was interesting. Sorry, guys, I have to keep going back and forth here. There we go. Saw Storm. We saw him. Here's Harley. Dan, are you still thinking about picking this one up?
Very, very strongly considering. But I definitely won't be keeping the base. That's what doesn't matter if it's movie accurate to me. I just don't like it. But I like her a lot. And I thought the video footage, she was even more impressive.
She looks good. Her face is a little soft.
Yep.
But I thought they did a nice job on her. The suit itself looks really great. The body looks great.
I'd love to see her in New York. She's one that I'd kind of like to see in person.
Sideshow did say that they're kind of waiting to see how this went, like how numbers went with sicknesses and things like that. So I'm hoping everything went smooth, because I mean their booth was packed all the time.
Yeah.
I mean, so I can't imagine them not wanting to be at New York. Fingers crossed that they are. I mean, as of right now, I've heard that they're not, but hopefully they will be.
There were fewer sculptors at the Sideshow booth than normal. Normally you'd see Daniel Bell there and maybe Will Harbottle. We saw Matt Black. Did we see anybody else?
Other than Guillermo, that was it.
Oh, Guillermo, yeah.
That was it. I mean, and he's with Tweeterhead, so.
Yeah.
This is another beautiful piece. I can't recommend this one enough. It just.
I really wish this was quarter scale. They'd do a quarter scale.
Yeah.
I do too. This would have been a killer piece at quarter scale.
Yeah.
And the portrait on her is just phenomenal.
Yep.
It's just a winner all the way around, except for size. That gives me pause.
Yep. 100%. Guillermo was asking me a lot about that, about scale, about like what people like. I thought that was interesting.
Mm-hmm.
But here's your Dr. Doom, Jeff. I thought Dr. Doom looked really, really good. You can see the detailing on his skirt. You know, that is like texture. I thought he looked really good. I personally did think that the banners looked a little cheap. They were just wrinkled, so I don't know if you were able to like steam it out, if it would be better. Jeff? Did you get that impression too, or no?
Yeah, I didn't pay a lot of attention to him just because I don't really need a Doom in my collection. But yes, I agree. The banners didn't look great. And
that was the one thing, they looked wrinkly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
And it felt like a lot of fabric with the cape and the banners. And it's always weird when you're juxtaposing a fabric cape with a sculpted skirt and, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is Doom supposed to have arms like Colossus? That kind of, is he supposed to be buff like that? I can't remember Doom like that.
He's pretty jacked up.
Yeah, he's
I
I
can't either, because I just remember him being more normal size, not, you know, it's the suit, not the size.
I
This
remember.
almost reminds me of when they did like the Marvel versus Capcom game.
Yeah, exactly.
He was big like that, and he was like kind of floating around.
Exactly. But I don't know. My favorite Doom is still their. They did years ago. I actually saw it one time that I went to SDCC. They had the legendary scale Dr. Doom.
Yeah, that's nice.
It was phenomenal. What a piece that was. Incredible.
The paint on the metal on his armor looks really good. It looked good in the videos. It looked very aged and worn. And
Yep.
I wondered how the sculpted hood looked with the cape. I couldn't quite get a feel for that.
That's a good question, actually.
This is the Daniel Bell piece.
Chris, you have me anxious to see this one in person in New York.
Oh, Dan, it's awesome.
Yeah.
It's just really, really good.
I love everything except I hate a beat up, bloody Batman. Just hate it.
Structurally, how did it look in person? Because he keys onto that lightning bolt, right?
Looked real solid to me. I thought it was really good.
Yeah.
Again, I can't stress how big it is. Like, it is just so big of a piece, and it just really took my breath away. I just was really shocked.
Love this one.
This one's really cool, and this one I don't know if you guys saw, but this was actually sculpted by Olivia herself. I talked to Ido a little bit, and I guess actually I don't know if you know this, Jeff, but actually it was started by Mark Newman.
No, I didn't know that.
It was started by Mark, and then Olivia took what he had, just kind of like the bare bones for her, and then she went in and did all the detail and everything else. So
cool.
I forget they said somebody did the chair separately. I don't know if it was Mark Newman.
Yeah.
I think
I knew she said somebody did the chair.
Yeah, it was Mark. Mark did the chair.
Are you sure?
Or at least started it.
I
think it was
that
a
name
totally
doesn't
different guy.
seem like the chair guy's name.
Yeah, I think it's a
You
different
know,
guy.
there was a video with Paul talking to her.
Oh, maybe it was. Maybe he started the body. I don't know, but
It was a name I'd never heard before.
Yeah, I remember them just saying somebody else did the chair. And she did
okay.
Yeah.
That could be.
It's very cool.
But I just love the fact that she sculpted it. I love that.
So
It's
Ryan's asking in the chat if it's confirmed that Sideshow's going to New York, and no, it's not confirmed. It's up in the air.
Yeah. Everything I've heard as of right now was probably not. But they, like I said, they wanted to wait and see and kind of assess how they did after this event. So we'll see.
What size is this?
I measured it. What did I say?
It's quarter-esque.
I can tell you that it's 17 inches in length and 16 inches in height. I can't tell you the depth. The base is 7 inches deep, but part of that contraption goes over the edge of the base, so I'm not sure how deep it is.
Yeah.
I think it's either like a small quarter or a big fifth, but probably a premium format.
Did you bring a tape measure?
I brought a tape measure. Yes, sir.
I love
Yes,
that.
he did.
I love that. I didn't ever see you measure. I love it.
If I
People
win the
thought I was
lottery, I
nuts.
would buy that to go with Vampirella.
I got some funny looks breaking out that tape measure.
I bet you did.
Anybody that really
least you were
knows
on the
knows
Tweeter-
a tape measure.
At least you were in the Tweeterhead booth and not in the bathroom.
That's true. That's true.
That would have been more awkward.
I kept it holstered in the bathroom.
This was that lit up that I wanted to show you guys when it was all lit up. I thought it looked cool. That was on Friday.
Oh wow. That's it.
There's
me.
Guillermo.
There's Guillermo. We were talking about him earlier. So that gives you an idea of the size of that Batman piece next to the Joker.
And that's
Looks like-
1/6.
That's 1/6.
That's 1/6 right there.
But remember, it's significantly in front of them.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, we're behind it. But again, amazing guy. Here's his Aquaman.
Made a lot of people happy with that one.
Yes, it did. It was interesting to hearing them talk about the comments about the black trunks.
Yeah.
Some people wanted black trunks, some people didn't. But
Does it have black trunks?
no,
I started to say it's kind of hard
and
to
it,
tell.
and it won't.
Did they get us on film waving up at him, Chris?
Yes, they did actually.
That's awesome.
I actually went back and watched because I was curious if they got us or not, and they did. Let's see. This was a big, awesome piece.
Yeah.
E-Man. Really,
It's not
really
my
cool.
jam, but it looks really cool.
Yeah, it's a really neat one. All of these Master of the Universe pieces are just phenomenal. These are all the swap outs
Yep.
heads.
So these guys were all Masters of the Universe people.
Yeah.
Okay.
And they look like they could be in a movie. They're that good.
Yep.
You could
They
you
look
could
very
tell-
realistic.
super realistic. You can tell Igo really has just poured his heart into these. He has a big passion for these things.
Skeletor is just an interesting look. They seem to have done a really good job at making that look more lifelike, realistic.
Mm-hmm.
Switch gears a little bit.
Speaking of lifelike,
What do you guys think of these busts? What was your impression of the Queen Studios pieces? I want to hear from Dan and Eric and Jeff.
First impressions on this one, I didn't think it looked as good as
I agree.
previous photos. Maybe I think it maybe just be the lighting, especially a lot of the camera angles look like it's from below, more like down by his chin.
I don't think it looks as much. I don't see Tom Hiddleston as much as I did in the first one.
Yeah, me either.
They caught that devilish look
Yep.
of
Yeah.
I'm about to do something look.
Yep.
Whereas this one looks a little more bland.
Like it looks amazing, but the initial photos looked so good. It looked like it was really like him. Like it could have been like you were looking at like a photo of him. So I'm not sure what happened. Same with this one a little bit, to be honest.
Yep. I agree.
I think it's the
I
hair.
thought this looked really good. My thing with the ones that you see the hair on, the hair looks unusually dry.
Yeah.
Most especially, in the movies and stuff, their hair has a shine and doesn't look so dry.
Yeah, it looks very wig-like a toupee.
Yeah.
And I don't know how you fix that. I don't know how you would fix.
I mean, I'm sure they're setting these up very quickly in time for the convention. So this one actually surprised me. This one to me looks better than what it.
That looks better than it did at the other.
Yeah. Same.
Oh,
I agree.
PJ spent a lot of time on this hair.
Yeah, I'm sure he did.
Yeah, the hair looks good here too.
This one was still one of my least favorite ones, but I still thought it looked better than what I've seen before.
If they gave me an hour, I could fix those.
The hair.
An hour, I could fix that hair.
Like you said, the hair looks better.
With one product and a comb and some water. That's the problem.
Sorry, PJ. This was my favorite one.
Yeah, I love this.
Yeah.
That looks
guys,
insane.
I think I said it in my video that I feel like some of the original Queen Studios busts were smaller, like they were a little undersized. These are not.
Yeah.
Especially this guy. Like this guy to me feels like as big as my Affleck bust. It was massive, had a really great presence to it. Just really impressive.
The paint is impressive too.
Yeah.
Likeness looked good. It was a really good piece.
Yeah, it's one of my favorites.
Again, I don't know if I had. I wonder if I had that shot.
There we go. If I had room for him, I'd buy him.
Yeah, it's amazing too.
Yeah.
He
I
was
would
so
rather have
impressive.
that than this bust.
Yeah, I would too. But he again, he's just absolutely massive.
Yep.
The base on him, that's round base. Oh my God, he's just so big. But he is very impressive looking. I did find him, like, again, here's a shot of the bust from the other angle. And again, they both look great, but oh my God, there's just something about that. It's really cool. There's some of my Vampirilla pictures. Sorry, I'm just going to comb through these and see if there's stuff that we've missed. Bust there. Again, that's when they had the hair tucked in.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So I did think that having the hair out helped a little.
It did.
Yeah.
I love this one.
That's cool.
I thought those three forced perspective bases looked good together.
Agreed.
Yeah. Yep.
If you have one by themselves, I still think it would work maybe, but
Yeah.
I specifically this one and Spider-Gwen were my favorites.
Well, it's interesting because the way that they're painted, it looks like they're going for a day scene with Spider-Man, and they were going for a night scene with the other two.
That's a good point.
Mhm.
That's a good. I didn't catch that, Jeff. That's a good point.
I
Interesting.
think the figures all look really cool. I'm not sold on the bases.
I think people either love him or hate him.
Mm-hmm.
I was talking with Tom, who's one of the creative directors at Sideshow, and we talked a lot about the forced perspective, and they get it too. They know that some people love him and some people don't, but they wanted to give something different. Do something different,
Yeah.
some variety.
Nothing wrong with that.
It was interesting talking with them a little bit about just how the pandemic has affected statue companies, just in general, and the production of them, and the amount of risks that they're able to take right now. And so this was definitely a risk that they took. But I thought that was interesting.
A risk that they took 5 times.
Right, exactly. Yeah, they've definitely gone deep into it.
So that's the Top Cow booth.
Yes. Beautiful pieces. I think this one is beautiful, but this one,
Yeah.
oh my God, she is absolutely gorgeous.
And she's tall with that spear and with the horns. So that's Angelus. The other one is Aphrodite 9.
Just really beautiful picture. Yeah, they're both really nicely done. Look at that.
Yeah.
Cool base too.
Yeah, really cool. There's the mass portrait of Batman that we were talking about earlier. Darn it.
Chris, I'm going to need to run here in a few minutes. 3 dogs again looking at me funny.
No worries.
They're all staring at me.
There's the Batman again and Joker. Wonder Woman. Oh. I do apologize, everyone, for the photos tonight. I usually try to have them ready to go and organized, but haven't had time. He-Man.
You gotta go ride a cat.
That's right. That's such an awesome piece. Got a lot of attention. Again, all of these were really awesome. Just back where we were.
Crypto.
Yeah, Crypto, that's a new one. That was a fun one.
Mhm.
He premiered. Superman looked great, obviously. Myths and Monsters had a prototype there.
That's Gilman.
Yeah, it's awesome. Kind of reminds me of Monster Squad when I was a kid.
Or Creature from the
Yeah.
Black Lagoon.
There's Tom back there. This was that other portrait on the Aquaman.
They're both great portraits.
Yeah,
That looks really cool.
it is.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
water looks really good. They said they might trim off the front a little bit of the water. But I thought he looked great.
You know, the Aquaman that I loved, that Iron Studios 1/10 that was in that booth that has the water base like that with the tentacles of the octopus.
Hmm.
That's a cool looking.
Yeah.
That would be cool in a quarter scale.
It would be.
Some of the stuff in the Iron Studios booth was really cool. That I guess, you know, now that they've done the Sentinels, that Age of Apocalypse
Mm-hmm.
with the X-Men,
Yeah.
that looked really cool.
I liked their Superman and Lois flying above
Hmm.
Daily
Yeah, I think-
Planet.
I've got that, I think, in this grouping, I think.
Okay.
What's
This
that's
is great.
that's fifth scale, right? That's Superman and Lois.
6.
That's
Oh, it
six.
is six.
This looked really good. I wish it was at the show.
It wasn't there. We were real surprised that it wasn't at the show.
Yeah.
Their new Yoda. These are some things that they showed at Sideshow Con. What do you think of the Mark III?
It's not my favorite.
I thought it looked good, but I thought the base was a little underwhelming.
Did they have
It
that
was
there?
underwhelming.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it was there.
Yeah,
I was underwhelmed by the whole piece.
I was
It
too.
was upstaged by the Mark 7
Oh, it's
because they
Yeah.
were like beside each other.
yeah. Mark 7 way better.
Yep.
With all the great light up feature. This one was cool.
Not there though.
I'm surprised that was not there.
Yeah,
Me
me
too.
too.
I kind of figured all of that stuff would be there.
This one's also sculpted by Matt Black.
Yep.
It's awesome.
I actually
Yeah.
like that.
Had a great conversation with him about this piece. But I was hoping this would be here too because I love the concept of it.
How's that held up? Is that like floating, or is that keyed into his?
He's leaning back onto it like he's leaning up against the wall, and so it's attached to his shoulder.
It's attached to him. All right.
Yeah,
There's a sideshow video for it, and they show it. I like it. I think it's really cool. I've heard there's some bitching about it because there's Boba Fett wouldn't be leaning back like that. You know, like who the hell knows what Boba Fett would do? I mean, do you? Do you really?
mean,
Does
people
anybody?
people on the internet bitch about things. What?
Really?
Yeah.
No.
That's Queen
I remember
Studios.
when you go see Star Wars or get a Star Wars product and you either liked it or you didn't.
That's right. This was going up for pre-order. This is from Prime One. I wanted to show this one. This is that new Nathan Drake. I thought this was a really fun piece. Love the base on it.
Yeah, that is awesome.
Really cool. We're kind of winding
Is
down.
this the character that Tom Holland was playing?
Yes, but this is the video game version.
Okay.
Yeah, it's that from Uncharted. But I just thought it was a really cool looking piece. I think it's quarter scale,
It is.
but
Hey, have a great night, everybody. I got to roll.
No problem, Dan. Thank you for being here.
Get those dogs out.
Yeah, we'll see you all soon.
Good night. We're about done here anyway, so thank you.
See you this weekend, I suppose.
Yeah, we'll see you this weekend.
That's right. Here we have this was the alternative portrait on that Venom from XM. In-hand photos of that J&D. I guess we already kind of breached or talked about her a little bit earlier. And that magical tongue of hers. Creepy.
It looks, it looks fine.
It does.
It does. It looks good.
I think it looks fantastic, but I don't think it looks like Margot Robbie.
I don't see her exactly. It seems like the mouth is over exaggerated.
I mean, I think it looks like some of the cosplay girls I saw.
Yeah, a really good one.
Yeah, a really good one. I think her eyes are there. But
yeah.
It's just maybe the nose and mouth. I don't know. But I think she turned out great just as a whole.
Yeah.
The toe looks great. The body looks great.
I like that broken glass on the base.
I do too. I love that.
It gives it a little more interest than just the plain.
Yeah, I think that looks really cool. This is the new Queen Studios. It's going up for pre-order. I'm going to throw that in here. I thought that looked pretty cool.
That's fun.
Pretty similar to Sideshow.
Yeah.
That's the Mark 85 from Endgame. And this is the companion, Pepper Potts Rescue.
Yeah, I like her pose.
I like how they have them back to back where you get that bit from Endgame where they do that.
So I saw during the panels they announced a bunch of shows and movies, so that they're doing
a lot of great
Ironheart show. I saw
a lot of great Marvel. Sorry,
Ironheart is in Wakanda Forever. You briefly see her in the trailer.
Who's in there?
The Ironheart.
Ironheart.
Oh, that's cool.
It's going to be in that and you see her working on the armor, and then you see there's just a quick flash of her and Shuri. Looks like they might be in the workshop or lab together.
That's cool.
Hey, just remind me, I haven't seen the trailer yet.
That looks like a very emotional movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks really heavy, and I really like the way that it looks like they've done Namor. I know there's a lot. Well, there's bitching about that too, but
what people on the internet bitching about that?
I know it's just. I don't know how we get there, but
I know it looks like a good movie to me. Speaking of good,
looks really cool.
I think this looks really cool. This was a really cool maquette again from Tweeterhead. Jeff, what do you think of this one?
This is really cool. 25 inches tall.
Yep.
Yeah, it looks
I have
great.
no connection to it, but Skeletor is just kind of fascinating to me. I love that.
I'm with you, Jeff. We're about the same age, and I think I was in college when Masters of the Universe hit TVs.
Yeah.
So I don't really have any nostalgia for the characters, but I can appreciate them.
See, I definitely did. I was a big Masters of the Universe fan, and I loved Skeletor.
You're just a youngster.
I was certainly aware of the He-Man and all of that, but, taking it to this level where you get that really like a movie looking character.
Yeah. That's why I said, like, Igo is just taking these to the next level. And like you should see like the detail on the cape, the texturing on the cape specifically. I was just blown away by it. And again, it's not even painted yet. Obviously,
and that's going to be 1/6.
Yeah. Or 1/5, Jeff.
What's 1/6?
The Skeletor, is it 1/5?
No, it's 1/5.
Yeah, 1/5. And so it'll have some competition with the Sideshow piece because a lot of people still really like that. But I think this one's awesome.
I saw that years ago, and it was like one of those things that I kind of wanted to buy it, but didn't because I don't really have a connection to the character, but it just looked really cool.
Yeah.
And it matches up really well with this bust. It's like almost the exact same armor. It's a little bit different, Dave said, with some of the scaling. But obviously, if you have the bust, oh my God, could you imagine the two together? It'd be incredible.
The first few years when I started collecting, I was going to purchase the Sideshow Skeletor and the Cobra Commander and pair those two up, because those were like my two things as a
Yeah.
when I was young, was G.I. Joe and He-Man. So it'll be cool to pair those two together.
Commander was awesome. So I wish Dan was still here. This is I forgot I had this shot in here of the a little bit better. You can kind of see it a little bit better. But again, it just had so much bad glare that it just made it hard to really see what you're getting. But I do think once we get it out of this booth, people will like it even more.
Well, I think it stands out. I think it's so low. It's it's flat to the
and it's leaning forward. It's on a kickstand. Isn't it?
Yep.
Well, that was a lot of. I've seen a few messages, or posts, or comments, whatever you want to say. People saying the bike looks too small, but it's the perspective of the bike being pushed backwards and leaning forward.
It was not a big bike.
It's not, and but it didn't look too small to me.
Yeah,
I think it was just fine. And it's Joker. I absolutely love the Joker. This will be day one for me.
Did you measure that one, Jeff?
the Joker, I forgot. No,
but he couldn't. It was under glass.
Right.
Yeah, but I'd guess like 23, maybe.
We've seen most of those.
Did they say anything about a switch out with him?
Didn't say. Yeah.
Kind of wrapping up.
See where there might be a switch out when looking at the Joker? Anything that looks like it was removable, like the portrait and hands or anything?
I didn't. I'm predicting that. I'm predicting what you see is what you get with that one. I don't think we'll get a swap out.
It's a pretty good bet with Sideshow these days. They do an occasional swap out now, but not as many as they used to.
Yeah, I think what you see on that one's what you're going to get. This is at the Iron Studios booth. Kind of highlight a few of these pieces. I thought they were, again, Iron Studios, I thought were a lot better in person seeing some of these. Did you feel that same way, Jeff?
Yeah. In fact, I really liked their quarter scale Stan Lee a lot better in person than I thought I would.
That piece was awesome. But
now, what did you guys think about the Sam Wilson quarter scale Captain America from Iron Studios? Because it was at Sideshow, not at Iron Studios.
Me personally, I was underwhelmed.
I thought the likeness was really good.
I agree. Civil War Sam Wilson, they got him. He was probably the best likeness of the 6 that I had.
Mm-hmm.
But
I feel like some of the details on that one looked a little bit dumbed down to me.
That's what I thought. Like they cheapened out on it, even though it's crazy expensive.
I agree.
Especially the wings and the shield.
Yes.
The shield looked too thick.
It looked to me more like 10, 15 years ago Sideshow.
Yeah.
With the texturing.
Yeah.
It was a little, again, it looked cool, but it was just underwhelming to me. And that, again, it's just my personal opinion. I do think the likeness was there, but I was underwhelmed compared to some of the other stuff I saw in their own booth.
Yeah.
This is Samurai Riddler. We hadn't talked about him since the last show, thanks to Eric lightening him up a bit. Mega Man at the PCS booth. Ant was really excited about him. Got some Guardians.
That Wolverine looked cool.
These were incredible.
They were
just incredible. And they're third scale, guys.
It was interesting listening to him when he was talking to you during the booth tour, saying how they go back and do the sculpts, that they use different sculptors to fix them. I always thought maybe they just go back to the same sculptor and say, you have to tweak this, you have to tweak that. They're like, no, move on to somebody else who can do it right.
Yeah.
It's interesting.
And then you can see the photo in the background of what it all looked like together.
Yeah, I think Brian had that posted on his Facebook.
Yeah, Brian Kucherik is their new lead sculptor.
Really like the Donatello.
Yeah, they're so cool. I love the paint on them. This is jumping back to Iron Studios, more He-Man. PCS. I thought it was pretty funny what he said about the the material in the front. You can just cut it out if you don't like it. I thought that was pretty funny.
Oh, show that Chun-Li bust. That was one of the best things at the show.
Yeah, that was like the last thing. I was actually hanging out with Todd a bit from Spec, and he's like, "Have you seen the bust yet?" I'm like, "No, I can't. I don't even know where it's at." And we were over there anyway, and so he brought it over to me, and I'm like, "Oh my gosh, she is!" And she looks way better in person than this photo.
Yeah.
Silicone looked phenomenal. They said that they probably are going to tweak the bracelets because the bracelets looked kind of cheap and fake. So I believe they are going to tweak those, but man, she looked gorgeous. I think
she looks great in the photo.
What is she from?
She's Capcom, right?
Street Fighter.
There you go.
Okay.
Yeah.
I wonder how they're going to price her.
I don't know. I bet she's going to be expensive.
Yeah.
It's a lot of silicone on her.
Yeah.
People loved that piece.
But it was really pretty. And it was really weird because it was just in some random little corner. Like it wasn't even at their booth.
Yeah.
Which I thought was weird. This one I thought was cool. This is the 1/10 scale Scarecrow from them. From Iron Studios. Iron Studios. Yeah, again, this is PCS, guys. This is PCS. Life-size Thanos was really cool they had there.
Oh, wow.
That was really neat. Let's see if there's...
The Voldemort with Nagini.
That quarter scale?
Yeah.
That quarter scale, I have actually really considered buying that. Because
that's just really cool.
It was my favorite, other than the Jaws, that was my favorite piece of that booth.
That Jaws looked cool, but
the Jaws was
ridiculous.
Amazing. It is so expensive.
It's so big.
It is massive. But
now nobody got on video. Is that Quinn sliding into the mouth? Because it was hard to tell in the video.
Really, that was a really hard because they had glass.
Yeah,
so you couldn't like go in and like zoom in on top. It's like otherwise I would have tried to get in closer to that. But that booth in particular was kind of hard to film because it was in a corner, but it was really narrow. So if there were other people around, you couldn't really go in and around people there. It was a great spot for them though. They had that whole corner of that booth, but yeah, it was Quinn is getting eaten by Jaws right there with a knife out.
Now do they have? Was Chief Brody on the boat? I mean, could you see him?
I didn't.
Okay,
but I wasn't looking either. Like I didn't.
Yeah.
I mean, I was just
You would think for that money you get everybody on the boat that should be on the boat.
I would think that he would be on there somewhere. I'll have to go back and look. But I
think he's real close to Quint.
He might be.
Okay.
Just inside the door, the cabin.
I'll have to go back and watch my video again. That's part of the problem is doing the YouTube stuff is you're always behind the screen. So I did make it a point a number of times. Like I said, I went back 20 times to look at that Joker. I did, and I'm sure you did this too, Jeff, is that you just went back and looked without the camera.
Yeah.
It's like that's another thing. If you guys go and film, if you're a YouTuber and do any of that stuff at any of these cons, make sure you take time for yourself too. And make sure you, go and look at the stuff because again, if you're behind the camera the whole time, you're kind of disconnected a little bit.
That goes for anything in life.
Yeah. Same thing happened with and I didn't get the photo again. Our plan was that Dan was going to organize all these photos and have them ready to go for you guys because I couldn't, but he couldn't. His screen share wasn't working. So again, I apologize for how disorganized I was tonight. I really always try to be prepared for these shows, but one thing that what were we talking about?
Jaws.
Enjoying the show without the phones and all that.
Oh, it's gone. Darn it. Well, never mind. I don't remember what I was going to say.
It's that adult beverage you had before the show.
I know, and since I had that surgery, I had literally 3 sips and I was done. So I paid $8 for about 3 sips and that was it. So it was delicious though. So yeah, I'm down here in Florida. Day one is complete. I am sunburned to a crisp. You should see my feet. They are burning like they are completely sunburned. They're like bright, streamy red.
That's the worst.
You need aloe
That
vera.
and the top of your head and the tops of your feet.
Yeah, like
Aloe vera.
right there. If you can see the
No!
there's the red.
You totally need aloe vera, man.
Yeah, I've already got it on. I've got my wife has slathered me with that stuff. So
All right.
we went to lunch and went to the late lunch, and then we took a nap, and I took like a 2-hour nap, which I never do, and got up, and it was like an hour before the show time, and I'm like, oh, my feet are on fire. I can't feel my feet. So I don't know how much I'll have to be buried in the sand tomorrow because I'm sure we'll be out there all morning again, but beautiful here in Florida. It's crazy that I was in California a few days ago and Florida now. It's pretty nuts.
You need sunscreen.
Yeah, I need more.
Like SPF 100.
Here's the thing. Trust me. Like I wear my swim shorts. I've got a long sleeve surf shirt. I've got like a bucket hat. You know, I'm like, because I'm a white Swede. You know, I go outside for 3 seconds and I have a sunburn. My nose turns black, and so I'm always very cautious. I had a lot of sunscreen on, but I even sprayed my feet. But you know, you go back in the water and then you forget to reapply. So
Yeah.
But anyway, San Diego Comic-Con, what a blast.
It was awesome.
It was awesome. And again, so awesome to be able to hang out with you more. I hope we get to do that more in the future for sure.
For sure.
Did we want to look at Jeff's book behind him?
Oh, yeah, I forgot. Yeah, what did you get? Let's show everybody.
So this is the first appearance of Ra's al Ghul.
Oh,
Batman number 232, 9.4. It's really a cool book.
that's a very expensive book.
It's awesome.
Yeah, it's pretty pricey. I've owned several copies over the years. I've never paid this much for it. But keys are very popular, and Adam's books have gone up even more since his passing.
Yeah.
But it's a great book. It's a keeper.
And where did you buy that?
I bought this from Dale Roberts Comics. Dale is a very trustworthy comic dealer who's been around for a very long time. He does a lot of shows, so I recommend him highly. And he's got a good website. Just Google Dale Roberts Comics.
It's awesome. So we made 2 very large purchases at the convention. So
Yeah.
Comic-Con, you got us.
I also bought this.
Oh,
Nice.
that's awesome. Hardcover?
Yeah. So I've been wanting to read this for a while. So I love getting a nice hardcover. So
That is awesome. Well, I was kind of under the impression too, like, you're at this con, and you kind of have the what the hell mentality, right?
that's true.
And I'm assuming that a lot of people rely on that are vendors, because like, you're at this awesome thing and you have this opportunity and you're like, what the hell? You live once, why not?
Yeah.
And that's why I bought that Alex Ross painting. That's why you bought that CGC.
Mhm.
Although yours is probably a better investment than mine. Mine's just going to be up on the wall.
I saw something funny on Sunday. At the Alex Ross booth, they had that really wide poster. It was like 25 feet wide.
Yeah, it was all for people to pose in front of. It was
Yeah,
really
so I
cool.
walked by, and there was a guy posing in front of it, and he had a Mr. Fantastic costume on, and his arms were like 10 feet long.
Did he really? What day was that?
It looked awesome.
That's cool. Did you get a picture?
I didn't take a picture. I should have, but it looked really, really good.
That's awesome. That's very, very cool.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Well,
That's a great image, and that art print sold like the day that they started selling stuff on his website. I noticed it was gone really quick.
well, that booth was really neat.
Yeah.
To go through
He
that.
wasn't even there, was he?
No, he never came. Never
Yeah,
came.
It's a big
does.
booth.
Yeah, and I don't even think he has to come. That's the thing. Is like it's just his art sells itself. So,
Yeah.
but I would love to meet him someday. That'd be really neat. So yeah, it was an awesome experience. Again, I want to thank Jeff for just being there and telling me about the con and just hanging out. That was so much fun. And again, I want to thank everybody that stopped by and said hello. It was just an experience of a lifetime, and I can't wait to do it again. And again, hopefully we have a great experience like that at New York Comic Con. Hopefully some of the vendors are there, like Sideshow. We'd love to see some of those. I have heard at least initially from PJ, that Queen Studios wants to be there if everything goes well, that the actual guys from Queen Studios will come. Hopefully they'll have a good booth. I would imagine at the very least GFX will have a XM booth.
Like you said, PCS, I believe, said they were going to be back.
Yeah. So PCS wants to unveil some new things. So I think there'll definitely be a statue presence at least. So that's good. But again, Sideshow always kind of brings it all together. So it would be awesome. But anything else you guys want to say before we wrap it up tonight?
Nope.
No, I guess not.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, again, I just want to thank everybody for watching. I really appreciate it. I know we had over 200 people watching, this evening, so that's always just very much appreciated. If you would do me a favor, please hit the like button if you're still here. It does help us tremendously. Again, definitely check out all the tremendous videos at Secret Sanctuary. And if you would do me a favor, watch them all 10 times. Just keep watching them. Just keep them on a loop. Just let them play in the background if you're, just want to get some views up. Because again, this guy worked his butt off as well. So.
It's a good time to subscribe. There's something big coming to the sanctuary.
Yeah, and I know what it is, and you guys are not going to want to miss it. So please make sure, tell all your collecting friends about it. And again, just phenomenal footage. Cannot recommend him enough. Cannot recommend enough that you watch all the con footage, because again, it was just a pleasure. And again, it just means a lot to us whenever you guys have said, hey, it feels like we were there with you. And so that was the whole idea. That's the whole point. And so, again, I cannot thank you guys enough for taking time to watch the videos. It was just awesome. And whether no one watched or not, it was still an awesome time going. So
that's right.
Again, yep, that's right. And again, hopefully, I'm still trying to convince this guy to go to New York. Maybe we could get him. And then this guy over here, hopefully we can get him to go to New York too. Hopefully, fingers crossed, we can convince him. And Jeff,
y'all overwhelmed me with that.
Listen. I have never traveled by myself. I drove to an airport. I flew by myself. I arrived. I Uber. I lifted. I did all of that stuff. You were well in good hands. If you go. You were well in good hands. Because at least Eric knows where the hell he's going.
I live in New York, and I got lost the first time I went to New York.
Well. That makes me a little bit more nervous now, but
now I know where I'm going.
That's right.
I've
Just
been to Chicago and walked down the street like this, and the people I went with were like, "Stop doing that!" I'm like, I can't believe how tall this shit is.
So I'm going to a Terrific Con this weekend. I'm going to see Kevin Conroy. I purchased a photo op with him.
That's awesome. You're going with Dan. That's not when's the Boston one?
That one is in August. Yeah, so this one's I'm going to meet up with Dan again. This one's in Connecticut.
That'll be fun. I'll have fun. And then you guys are going to do Boston with Matt T also, I think.
This one also, I believe Matt.
Oh, Matt T. Okay, that's cool. That's awesome.
And I'm meeting Carl from the group. I'm buying the Scarecrow premium format.
That's fantastic.
I just saw he posted that he just got it boxed up, and he
sent me a video.
Like that an achievement should have come on over his head when he got it boxed.
That's awesome.
So looking forward to those.
I've got about, I don't know, probably 7 big reviews for you guys that I haven't been able to post because I've been posting all the San Diego Comic-Con stuff. So that is coming. I also have a review from Matt for his Huntress premium format he did for us. So, and I've got the Bumblebee Queen Studios bust, and I've got all of my statues that I haven't posted yet. Tomorrow will be the swag video. So that'll go up tomorrow with all of my art prints and stuff that I picked up.
Oh, yeah.
Stuff. So
how'd you get all that crap home?
I actually had to check a bag. I checked my suitcase, and then that way, because I had that big Sideshow or the big San Diego Comic-Con bag. And so I just had that one, and I laid it flat up although somebody pushed their suitcase in it real hard. Luckily it didn't damage any of the art.
Yeah.
But so I put that up
to kill somebody.
I thought I was going to have to for a second. I was like, oh my God.
I'm going to get zip tied to my chair.
Yeah. But it was that's the problem, is that bag was so big it wouldn't fit underneath the airplane seat. So I just ended up checking the bag.
I'm just going to hold it while we fly.
Yeah. Well, then I thought about checking the art, and I'm like, I don't know if that will get banged up either. So I just thought I better hold on to it. But I'm an art
my
guy.
son did? My son is brilliant sometimes. He went to, Greg Horn?
Yeah.
He always has a big booth, and he's got lots of great prints. My son he had some slightly damaged prints he was selling for $5 a piece.
Oh yeah.
He got 3 of them, and he absolutely loves them.
Nice.
Yeah, it was great. I think next time what I would do is there's a lot of people that had like the tubes on this with the strap.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I might do that next time. I hate rolling stuff, but at the same time, I'm like, it might be better just to protect it a little bit better.
Yeah.
Than just having a
You know
flat.
what we could do too, if you're there the last day at conventions when they're ripping down the booths and they have like those giant banners or whatever on display. Sometimes they'll let you like take one.
That's neat. That'd be really neat. That'd be a cool piece of history there. That's neat.
Yep.
So anyway, that's what's coming up on our channel. And again, definitely check out Secret Sanctuary as well. Otherwise, thank you guys so very much for watching. Again, like, comment, and subscribe. And we'll see you soon in the back cave. Good night, everybody. Thanks again for watching. Appreciate it, everybody.